San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Thursday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. A lot of great college basketball last night, and then some news this morning about college basketball. It's not great and not a great light. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. That started to come down earlier this morning. We'll try to keep you up on everything else that's going on when it comes to the Major League Baseball news and San Diego Padres and anything that might come across our timeline here in January. We'll have a couple other Padres topics for you in the 11 o'clock hour as we take a deeper dive into what's going on in Major League Baseball. The 11 o'clock hour is our baseball hour for sure, each and every day. Now, a couple other things. We'll talk some NFL later on. How about John Harbaugh, huh? Guy leaves New York without a deal, and then they announce that, he's actually going to be our head coach. We'll talk about that in the noon hour. We will also take a look at some other things around college basketball, obviously, with some games tonight with UCSD in action against Cal State Northridge, a.k.a. CSUN. Do not call us Cal State Northridge. Do you know that was a thing, Frank?
ESPN apparently didn't, which is where I got the information.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would, and I always bring this up every time. The game notes say, don't call us Cal State San Northridge, or Cal State, don't call us Cal State Northridge. Do not call us Northridge. Do not call us anything. Just call us CSUN.
Or call it, or as ESPN actually had it, CS Northridge.
Mm-hmm. Don't call us that either. It says in the game notes, we want to be known as CSUN. If I say CSUN, does anybody really know who I'm talking about?
No.
Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. I'm going to ask, I can ask people that went to Cal State Northridge, and I'd be like, no, you went to CSUN. And they're going to be like, what in the hell is CSUN?
That's cool.
Yeah, CSUN. So CSUN's in action today against UCSD. UCSD is an 8.5-point favorite in the Big West. USD is going up to Seattle to take on the Seattle University Red Hawks. Not the Reed Hawks.
Is that what I put?
Yeah, it's just a typo. It's fine. I did think it's fun. It's funny. Reed Hawks. Now I'm picturing a hawk reading a book with glasses on. Like the Reed Hawks. It's Thursday. We have one day off. You know what? I don't know what to tell you on some of these things. So,
all right, Chat GPT, do your stuff.
Yeah, the Reed Hawks. Seattle's doing a pretty good job this season. They're pretty good for what they are. So we'll talk about that later on in the 1 o'clock hour. We got a lot of other things to break down for you as well. This morning, I was a little irritated getting to work today. This morning, the off-ramp at Arrow Drive was shut down, and it looked like they were just shutting it down. I just missed it, so I had to kind of drive out of my way to get back. I didn't have to sit in Frank traffic that he usually has to sit in on the way to work.
No, traffic today wasn't bad.
I will say that I'm blessed in that particular case, but that was a frustrating start to the morning, mixed with a couple other things. Last night I did trivia night, Frank.
Oh, boy.
So, and by the way, my friend has now thrown out an idea.
What were some of the questions? Maybe I can use them.
Yeah, sports trivia. Are you kidding me? No, that's the stuff that trivia nights, like they don't like doing sports because none of them know sports, and so like they don't consider that trivia. They had two sports categories. One of them was actually one of the questions that we had already done on the show.
Oh,
yes, to an extent. The one that they were going to do, the guy, and I did this at Naughty Barrel last night. the guy running the trivia said, well, the question I was going to ask was, what 2 active NFL coaches are the longest tenured? And he was like, I obviously can't do that one anymore. And nobody but me had any idea why. And he was like, well, that's because Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh just got fired this week or stepped away, whatever. And people were like, who are those? I don't know who those people are. This is why they don't do sports questions at some of these trivia nights. So the question was, I actually tweeted out yesterday, but one of the questions for the sports trivia questions were, this university has the most Heisman Trophy winners, which we just did not too long ago.
Yeah, we did just.
You know the answer to that question?
Alabama, wasn't it?
No, Alabama's got 3.
Oh.
This school's got 8.
You're right. We did just do it. I don't remember.
USC. USC was the correct answer. The cool thing about this trivia, and I've done trivia before at a lot of different places. The cool thing about this trivia, though, Frank, this trivia at Naughty Barrel, and I think it might be just this guy, maybe just this group, was he would play music as a hint. Like certain songs have a hint. Like the name would be in the artist's name or whatever. So for that particular question, he played The Offspring. And The Offspring's from Southern California. So, like, there was little hints mixed in there.
That's a good idea that we will not be using because there's too much going on already for our afternoon game.
I'm not going to do that for the afternoon game. But that was the other question was, and there's no such thing as an MVP of the Final Four. There's a most outstanding player. Who is the only player to have 3 most outstanding player awards for the Final Four? I thought it was going to be Bill Russell. But it was not Bill Russell. And what they played was, here's the song that they played. And see if you can follow the logic here. Once he told me the answer,
you understood
I was like,
why the
oh
song
my
was
God, that's great. So the song that they played, so trying to figure out who is the one player in college basketball history to win the most outstanding player 3 times for the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you got to be thinking like teams that got to go there multiple times. I was thinking Bill Russell, but like he played at USF. There's no way no way the University of San Francisco went to 3 straight or 3 out of 4 years to the Final Four. I totally blanked on a particular UCLA Bruin, but the song that they played was I think it's by Bob, B.O.B. Airplanes. You know that song?
No.
You pretend like airplanes in the night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the answer to the trivia question is? UCLA Bruin connection to airplane.
Oh, Kareem.
It's Kareem. And the hint was he was in the movie Airplane. And I'm like, as soon as they said Kareem, I was like, oh,
God,
that's what the
really?
airplane. It's Airplane. I was thinking like, is there a guy named Bob or something like that? It was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun.
I don't remember a Make-A-Wish kid playing in the NBA.
Yeah. Bob.
Is a wish.
Yeah, exactly. The other, it's like, well, magic, maybe wishes, granting wishes, magic.
That's fair.
But the answer was Kareem. I thought that was a pretty clever thing. So a lot of the trivia is just stuff that I just don't know. It's just information I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm telling my friend worthless information of sports, and she's like, "You're not very good at trivia, but you should do like sports trivia because you're giving me worthless information." There was like a movie question. It was like they gave you the 2 most notable actors / actresses and the year, and the movie was The Blank. Like that's what the movies were, and there's 5 of them. And I got one of them right. It was Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. Yes. Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner in, I forget what year it was. And I was like, well, that's The Town.
Okay.
Which is a good movie. She got the couple other ones, but they played like Eric Church's The Outsiders,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, it's The Outsiders. One of these has to be The Outsiders. That's the name of this song. And I asked her, I was like, do you know what Texas Ranger in 2016, who then eventually played for the Padres, had this as his walk-up song? She looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, oh, that would be Mitch Moreland. That'd be Mitch Moreland. walk-up song. I'm telling you. I got insulted by the "you're bad at trivia." I'm like, no. They're asking questions to things I don't care about.
You're bad at the wrong trivia is what it is.
When they're listing like books, I don't read books like that. Which author? I'm out. I'm not answering that correctly. Which author? I couldn't even name you 4 authors. The movies ones, I mean, those always throw me off. It's like, oh, we're going to give you the 2 actors and the year. The year ain't helping, buddy. I'm telling you, the year is not helping. This actress played this role in these 3 shows that I have never heard of before. I'm like, I couldn't tell you.
That's cool.
I do want to, like, obviously it's got to be a lot of, like, it was just me and her, but it's better when you have like a group because then everybody has their own little niche, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I got we tag team the question. It was a double question.
Okay.
And it was about salad dressing. It was food and geography. And it was like this dressing was made or named after whatever, like these islands in between Canada and the United States. Thousand Island. And the other one was this dressing is usually made from buttermilk and it originated in Santa Barbara.
Oh.
I got this one.
Okay, then what was it?
Ranch dressing. Ranch dressing originated in Santa Barbara.
I did not know
at Hidden Valley Ranch that was tucked away in the mountains outside of Santa Barbara.
There it is.
So, like, I could get some of these things, but the reality, like food, geography, sports, I do know some of the stuff. But when you have a group, it's a lot easier. My question was, a lot of people playing, people are good at trivia, and maybe it's just because they have a photographic memory about certain things. Years throw me off all the time. Couldn't tell you years of anything. Like, they all start to blend together. Like time frames, I give you time frames, but years, I'm out. How do people have this much time to watch all of this content? TV, movies, knowing the actors and actresses. Well, I always go like, how is that possible? And then I just go back to
when you're younger and you have nothing else to do.
Did you catch that Alabama A&M New Orleans basketball game last night?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's like we were talking about. Oh, I have no idea how the women in my life watch like the Real Housewives of it, but I'm drawn to this. It's an equivalent thing, just a different topic. That's all it is. The same exact thing.
Same stuff. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to join the show. Hopefully your phones are working a little bit more today. I don't think we had as many issues yesterday here in San Diego as a lot of people around the country did. When we come back, we'll talk about the Aztecs on a happy flight home from a place they never have to go back to. We'll talk about the Aztecs game from last night when we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. We got Aztec tickets to give away later on today. We'll do the 1 o'clock hour. You can win 2 tickets to Saturday's Aztecs basketball game against New Mexico at Viejas Arena. Tickets at goaztecs.com. We'll get to your phone calls here in a little bit. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's talk a little Aztecs basketball. Aztecs got a good win last night against Wyoming. And they actually, if I'm not mistaken, jumped in the net rankings for the win. I mean, it was a quad 2 win on the road in a tough place to play because of the high altitude, because of the travel situation in which San Diego State's never going to have to go back there, nor will they ever go back there. And it was an overall good showing by the Aztecs that started off really good at the beginning part of the game. And then they completed the full game in the second half. But that's exactly what you got to do if you're San Diego State. Put yourself back into the conversation of being an at-large bid so you don't have to win the Mountain West Conference tournament. That's always kind of a crapshoot, okay? Like, you don't want to get yourself in that particular case, particular spot. Reese Dixon Waters had 13 points last night. Miles Bird had 12. Ty Simmons had 10. BJ Davis with 8 off the bench as he continues to contribute coming off the bench. Overall, great performance for the Aztecs, who shot 50% from the field, 41% from the three-point line, and even shot close to 80% from the free throw line. Wyoming on the other side of things, 31% from the field, 29% from 3 points, 68% from the free throw line. And I will tell you this, Aztecs basketball is starting to look a lot like Aztecs basketball. Aztecs basketball is starting to look a lot like that defensive, ruthless aggression that you have seen year in and year out that you did not see at the beginning part of the season. You're starting to see a lot more of the defense for the Aztecs. Aztecs didn't just win at Laramie, they dominated it. Final trip to the Arena Auditorium. The only thing that would make the Arena Auditorium and Dome of Doom better if CSUN played there, my opinion. Let's just, with all the dumb names, let's just throw that out there. Arena Auditorium. The last time the Aztecs ever have to go to the Arena Auditorium. Thank God. Thank God. And they won in a 74-57 blowout. With the win, the Aztecs are now 12-4 and 6-0 in the Mountain West. No drama, no altitude issues, no Dome of Doom nonsense. Mark Ziegler laid out all of the problems and all the history of the Aztecs playing at the Dome of Doom, at the Arena Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming, at 7,220 feet, and all the problems that has always happened, and the Aztecs didn't have to deal with any of those problems last night. Depth was the story for San Diego State. Dutcher went 10 deep early, 11 players scored, and the Aztecs ran Wyoming into the ground at 7,220 feet. Pretty insane. Wyoming never found offense. Cowboys shot 24% in the first half, had long scoring droughts, and couldn't keep San Diego State from getting downhill. Balanced scoring was better than the star hunting early. Reese Dixon Waters led with 13, but 6 Aztecs finished between 7 and 13 points. And if you look at the box score, again, every single one of the players that played last night contributed on the stat sheet, contributed with points and contributed with rebounds. The only one that didn't have any rebounds was Sean Newman Jr. He only played 10 minutes. That was the least amount of minutes that any Aztec had. He still got 2 points last night in the basketball game. Nice, again, another symbolic win for the Aztecs as they're moving on to the Pac-12 next season. Final goodbye to a building that's haunted the Aztecs for years, and they flipped the script. I think now you look at San Diego State and you look at San Diego State basketball, I think things were bleak a little bit at the beginning part of the non-conference because of you lost to Troy, which is a bad loss. You weren't able to really capitalize on the Players Era Festival because you didn't keep the game with Michigan close, as that was a blowout, and you were able to beat Oregon, but Oregon hasn't helped you out in the Big Ten. They're an average basketball team at best. They're a 500 basketball team record-wise. And then, you ended up losing to Baylor by 10, who's in a really good conference in the Big 12, but they'll probably finish near to the middle of the pack in the Big 12 conference. You didn't really, and then you played Arizona and you got run out of the building against Arizona. So you played the top 2 teams in college basketball. You got blown out by both, so you don't get a lot of a good metric for that. And you look at the beginning part of the season, it looks bleak of the reaction of watching San Diego State basketball not play the defense that they are used to playing, not be on par with some of the best teams in the country. And you honestly thought that it was going to be kind of some tough sledding in the Mountain West. And so far, so good for San Diego State. You look at the record now, 12-4. You're enjoying the 12-4. It's a lot better to look at it from that perspective than when you rolled into conference play at 6-4 coming out of the non-conference. So I think the metrics are going to help the Aztecs out a little bit. There's more as they continue to win more games, try to get a couple of quad one wins under their belt. It's going to improve the Aztecs' resume, and hopefully if they can continue this heater that they are on, they're going to be able to make the NCAA tournament outright and not have to win the Mountain West tournament. As of right now, I see the Aztecs in a situation where they got to try to make it to the Mountain West Conference championship game. But if they can split with Utah State, and hopefully, and honestly, it'd be better to beat Utah State on the road than anything else, and try to get two of these games that are close to quad one games as wins under their belt, Aztecs are going to be in a really good spot, Frank. I like the way that they played last night. They're starting to really get into their own, and I think it really stems from, that Brian Dutcher and the staff is going to continually hound the defense. Defense has gotten better as the season has progressed.
Yeah, last night was definitely a statement win. I mean, you go into Laramie, I believe you mentioned that Dutcher is now 14-1 against Wyoming, 5-0 in Laramie. So that streak of success continues. But this is what we expected San Diego State to look like all season long, and they're finally getting to it, and they're finally looking like the contender that we had anticipated them being. Unfortunately, it comes after a bunch of tough losses and tight games and bad losses to teams that we expect to see them playing against in the national championship tournament. It's coming at a good time, but it's also coming after a bad non-conference schedule.
Aztecs jumped 15 spots in the net last night with the win, which is great. They're up there right in the consideration spot for a lot of different metrics for an NCAA tournament bid. They're climbing up Joe Lunardi's at-large spots. I mean, I can't remember every time that he puts out the bracketology. I think it's Tuesdays and Saturdays. As of Tuesday, when he put out the latest bracketology, Joe Lunardi, I think the Aztecs are right there in contention for an at-large spot, and they needed like a couple more wins to really jump themselves in. I think they got a great opportunity against New Mexico on Saturday to potentially get that done. But he put out his thing yesterday. He updates a lot of the different things. Aztecs, according to Joe Lunardi, were listed as next four out, but on the rise here. So they're right there in the conversation based on their net ranking. It's good that they're on this sheet now. Joe Lunardi is not the guy that's making the NCAA tournament bracket, but his predictions are very accurate usually. And when you start to see your name pop up on his sheet, and you start to see the names start popping up on Ken Palm and all the other guys that come up with these bracketologies throughout the season, it's good news for the Aztecs. You want to see your name on this sheet if you're San Diego State. You do not want to see your name on the automatic qualifier spot. And as of right now, Utah State would be the automatic qualifier for the Mountain West Conference. It'd be nice to win it outright where you don't have to worry about it or sweat it out on Selection Sunday. And we got a long way to go. We got a lot of college basketball to get to before that point. But the fact that the Aztecs going into last night's game were an X4 out means, I think with the win last night, they'll probably be first four out on this sheet. And as of right now, Joe Lunardi's got New Mexico as the last four in.
I was just going to say that.
Which is another good opportunity for the Aztecs to find their way into the NCAA tournament. As of right now, Aztecs, as mentioned before, sit at 12-4 on the season. So here's the deal. This is where I got this messed up on their thing last time. One of these wins doesn't count. The Whittier win doesn't count on your metrics. So according to the metrics, the Aztecs are 11-4, not 12-4. That win against Whittier does not factor in to the overall resume of San Diego State. They're 50 in the net now. They're 37 in the RPI, which is great to see for San Diego State. They're starting to creep up more and more on their resume. They're 8-2 in their last 10. And now after last night, they're 1-3 in quad 1, 5-1 in quad 3, 1-0 in quad 2, because I think Nevada ended up jumping. They did. Nevada ended up jumping into the top 75 when you look at the net sheet. So that Nevada win, Frank, is back to being a quad 1 win. We talked about it yesterday. They were no longer a quad 1 win. And then Nevada played Utah State tight last night. And all of a sudden the Aztecs are now back with a quad 1 win. It's going to fluctuate like that as the conference season progresses.
Yeah, and that's what you got to be watching out for, especially when it comes down to later in the season. But you can't hyper fixate on it, living and dying on it as every single game goes, because as we just saw, it could definitely change in a heartbeat.
How about that? Nevada last night. This is what's like crazy about the net rankings and everything like that. Nevada jumped back into the top 73. Nevada actually jumped 2 spots last night in the net rankings. They lost by 9 at Utah State. Lost by 9, jumped in the net rankings. Hey, good news for the Aztecs. Now you got a quad 1 win. The game against New Mexico, as I look to find New Mexico in the net rankings, the game against New Mexico, I think probably is going to be a quad 2 game. They're 42 in the net. They're just outside. Again, they're just outside the top 30. And you only get a credit for a quad 1 game if your opponent is in a quad 1 game at home, if your opponent is in the top 30 in the net or the RPI. New Mexico's 42 in the net. So just outside the realm. But if you beat New Mexico on Saturday and New Mexico goes on a little bit of a run, you got a pretty good chance of that eventually becoming a quad 1 game for San Diego State. That's how the metrics work.
Yeah, and every game that turns out that way is only going to help you in the case of not winning the conference championship. It's going to be a point to watch, especially. But with the way San Diego State is playing right now, I think the way that they're handling some of these opponents pretty fair-handedly is going to give them a little bit of a bump as well, to the point where you may not have to win the conference championship, but if you at least get to the conference championship final, you might be able to make it in now.
Yeah, I think for sure they're at that point. I mean, they want to get themselves into a position where they're like, they got to get above the last 4 buys and not have to sweat out watching bid stealers in conference tournament time, because there's bid stealers afoot, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by a bid stealer, well, how it works in college basketball is, the conferences get to decide if they want to have their regular season conference champion go to the NCAA tournament or have their tournament champion go to the NCAA tournament. A lot of conferences, to try to get more juice into their tournament, make more money off of it, make the tournament champion the automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
And by doing so, they really hose a lot of the schools that end up having the best years in the season and winning it outright in the regular season for the betterment of some TV ratings and to get people to go to Vegas. That's kind of where you're at with that. But what happens is, in some of these conferences, you get bubble teams in multi-bid conferences that end up winning the conference tournament, because you can just get hot in a weekend and all of a sudden, a TCU shows up and wins the Big 12 tournament, which would never happen. But, if it did, and all of a sudden they go from a bubble team to, no, they're in now. They have to be in. And that just eliminates one of the last 4 in, and you start seeing teams drop. You start seeing teams rise. Joe Lenardi starts putting out his multiple brackets, and it gets crazy. We are still a long way away from that. Saturday is going to be a big game against New Mexico. We're going to be giving away tickets to that in the 1:00 hour. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And that's going to be a huge game for San Diego State on Saturday against New Mexico. But when we come back, there was a lot of college basketball news that didn't involve wins and losses. Well, it did for some people. In fact, some actually played last night that have now been mentioned into a sting operation of point shaving. Latest on more gambling problems in college and pro sports when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. We know how to do a lot of things. We also don't know how to do a lot of things. I would say that's fair.
That is true.
We didn't get a picture of Frank out in PB on Sunday. We should have. We got the picture of him with the mascot.
Yes.
The knockoff Buffalo Bills mascot that was walking around the Bills watch party. They look like they bought a Buffalo costume.
Yes, they bought an Buffalo costume. Because he looks nothing like the Bills mascot. No.
And then they put a jersey on him. That's a double XL jersey that they put on him. And Frank I was like, we got to get a picture with Frank at the with the Buffalo. And Frank just goes way ahead of you and starts walking over to the Buffalo and takes a selfie with the guy. After the Buffalo big leagued Sushi Sam in the chat, which is funny because he was the only guy wearing Bill stuff at the bar. Still diabolical for Perez to wear the back-to-back Cowboys Super Bowl lid at a Bills bar with all the Bills fans. What's even more diabolical is the fact that none of the Bills fans had any idea what that hat was. More diabolical. All right. A couple of things I wanted to get. But anyway, what I was going on with that, Frank, we were walking around with some of the video equipment before. Frank brought some of his own. Frank walking down the street in PB with his briefcase.
It's not a briefcase.
I know it's not a briefcase. With his bag, right?
Yeah.
He looked like Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem.
Because
he looked like Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men Hitman. He looked like a hitman. He was just stoically walking straight back, good posture, just dead eye look straight with the briefcase with the bag right next to him. I thought he was a hitman. Man satchel, I like it. It was you know what? It should be your Halloween costume.
My thought was
put a wig on like Javier and you could be the hitman in No Country for Old Men.
My thought was, should I walk around with an entire microphone setup, or do I walk around with said entire microphone setup in my bag? And I chose in my bag.
Okay.
Not even considering how it would look.
Well, just for the sake of having everybody probably checking your bag at every bar that we went to, we told them to go put it away. Before people started calling you Anton Chigurh.
I didn't think of that. I didn't even think of that. I just thought of what would be easier, to just carry the bag or carry a microphone, a wire, and all the other stuff I needed.
So anyway, that was we needed the picture of that because it looked just like it. I forgot who brought it up first. But it was so spot on.
Probably
like
Perez.
Frank looks like a hitman right now. He did look like a hitman. I didn't get to this part. We're going to get to the scandal that happened this morning, as reported by Pete Thamel. Alex Taylor, who is the University of Wyoming beat reporter for Wyoming Sports. He is also a Heisman Trophy and AP Top 25 voter, 2021 NSMA Wyoming Sports Writer of the Year, who covers the Wyoming Cowboys. He put this out last night on Twitter of a direct quote from Sundance Wicks, who was the head basketball coach at Wyoming. Did you see this?
No.
Sundance Wicks, when asked about tonight's performance.
If that is your real name.
Yeah, it sounds like a film festival. His name is Sundance Wicks. Sundance Wicks is the head coach of the Wyoming basketball team. He compared their performance against the Aztecs to the current dating landscape of 2026 in the Big 2-6.
God.
This is the direct quote from the head basketball coach of Wyoming about how he thought they played against the Aztecs. Did anybody see this?
How old is Mr. Sundance?
Sundance is his father's name. Sundance Wicks. He is, how old is Sundance? He's 45.
Okay.
He looks like he's 58, but he's 45.
Okay.
Sundance Wicks, head basketball coach of the Wyoming Cowboys.
Please tell me what
they
the
call
dating
him Sonny.
scene is like.
They call him Sonny too. Do you know what he gave Brian Dutcher a parting gift of an oxygen tank, a little mini oxygen tank. Pretty funny guy. Sundance Wicks was the head coach at Green Bay before what's his name took over. Before the radio guy that Adam used to work with, national radio guy. Oh my God, the college basketball dude. He was the national radio show.
Gottlieb?
Doug Gottlieb. Yeah, he was at Green Bay before Gottlieb took over. He was an assistant at Wyoming, coached at Missouri Western, assistants at Colorado, Northern Illinois, University of San Francisco, Northern State. And he was a Northern State GA after playing his basketball at Northern State, his class of 2003. So Sundance Wicks, here's what he had to say about their performance, Wyoming's performance against the Aztecs, as compared to the dating scene of 2026. This is just great.
I'll tell you if this is accurate.
It's like when you get your first girlfriend or you're trying to get your first girlfriend and you start texting her, Wick said. The texts are going really well to start. She responds a lot. You respond a lot. Then, all of a sudden, you take her on a date and she sees you for the first time. Maybe she doesn't think you are all cracked up to be in your old profile picture. So you text her, and there's a couple hours that go on between those texts. Then you ask her for a second date, and she says, I'm busy. Maybe you get that second date, but then those texts are 2 or 3 days in between, and she's ghosting you. I feel like our team just ghosts us and responds sometimes. We'll show up for a good day, and then we will get ghosted for a date against San Diego State. We'll get ghosted for a date against Grand Canyon. We'll get ghosted for a date against New Mexico. When are we going to show up to the date ready to commit and ready to say, you know what? I kind of like you. I'm here. Let's make this thing work. That is what Sundance Wicks said about the performance of his basketball team against the Aztecs last night.
And accurate. It's accurate. It is accurate.
We'll show up for a good day, and then we'll get ghosted for a date against San Diego State. This is an all-time quote from a college basketball coach.
That hit a little bit closer to home than I was expecting that.
College athletics is the gift that keeps on giving. It is the gift that keeps on giving. All the things in college athletics. This is why I love this stuff. This is the drama. This. You don't get this in the NBA. You don't get this commitment to the bit in the National Football League. This is college athletics, baby. This is what this is about. A guy named Sundance comparing the performance of his basketball team to dating in 2026. How did you do against San Diego? How do you think the boys did against San Diego State? Well, let me tell you. It's like when you get your first girlfriend and you're trying to get your first. You're just sitting there as a reporter.
Brother, I got a story for you.
Excuse me? I feel like our team just ghosts us and responds sometimes. You got to love college basketball. You got to love college football. You got to love college athletics.
It's unreal.
Were you expecting that? I mean, that
No.
was amazing.
No, I was not. That's why I asked you how old he was, because I'm like,
45,
okay,
man.
how out of touch is this statement going to be? But no, it was bang on accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why you got to love college basketball. You got personalities like Sundance Sonny Wicks giving quotes like that. You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen those videos of that Montana Tech coach or whatever it is on like local Montana, whatever, local Montana news? Like, have you ever seen that old coach? His name is Bob Green.
No, I don't think so.
Bob Green was the head football coach at Montana Technological University from 1987 to 2010. He has since retired. He would give the best quotes about his team all the time. He would do stuff like that. And he would be on the local news and he'd be talking about like possums and stuff like that. Like, oh, well, we're just like, it is phenomenal. Here's some of the quotes that he used to do. There's videos of it. If you find them, like we could play them. But like one of the things, we were like the kid that plays second French horn in the school band.
Oh,
we got to
yes.
play better.
No, I know that. Yes, I do. I know him. I absolutely know that.
Some aspects look like we're really ready to play. A couple other aspects look like we just got off Willie Nelson's tour bus. I mean, like this Sundance Wicks and his evaluation of Wyoming basketball yesterday reminded me of some of these quotes from Bob Green. How about this one? It's a double-edged sword. It's like watching your mother-in-law go off a cliff in a Cadillac. You have mixed feelings. I just like, you know what? This is what I need John Harbaugh to say stuff like this.
Never take a sleeping pill and a laxative on the same night.
We got to be like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. Just keep busy and look for opportunities. These are the quotes I need out of NFL coaches. These are the quotes that I need out of the NBA. These are the quotes. Could you imagine? You hear this out of an NHL head coach? He's got the little like Canadian accent or Midwest accent doing it.
I never make fun of Pam Green's decisions. I'm one of them. His wife, naturally.
What do you think about Johnny, Bob? Well, his attitude is positive. He thinks he could take on hell with a squirt gun. I mean, come on. This is great. This is great. Love it. The Sundance Wicks thing is just it's phenomenal. I thought that was a great quote from the game last night. I mean, that guy was just a ball of jokes last night.
Here, I got there's a compilation here. Let's go with this.
The key to the win was that the Orediggers took control early. Kind of like when you get married. That first day, your wife takes control early. And that's what the Orediggers did. Our football team was like the kid that plays second French horn in the school band. We got to play better. And that's a double-edged sword, It's kind of like watching your mother-in-law go off a cliff in a Cadillac. You got mixed feelings. First of all, they got after it hard. I'm telling you, they were like a hobo on a ham sandwich. They were going hard all the way. He's like that black lab on the first day of pheasant hunting season. He was pulling at the chain. We're kind of like a woodpecker in a petrified forest. Just keep busy and look for opportunities. I wanted to raise my kids using a depth chart. Can you imagine that? I wanted that. Pam Green vetoed that idea. I got a short memory, just like when I was in the third grade. 2 of the best years of my life. I don't like that bottled water. I like that butte water. You get to eat and drink at the same time. Some aspects look like we're really ready to play. A couple of other aspects look like we just got off Willie Nelson's tour bus. His attitude's positive. He thinks he could take on hell with a squirt gun. It's kind of like that T-bone steak dinner with all the trimmings. They played a complete game. With Jacksonville, what more can happen? Jacksonville's so bad they sentence prisoners to attend the games. Everybody expects you to win. My wife couldn't go to church with me on Sunday, and everybody said, where is she? I said, she doesn't go out with losers. I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A, and my grandma beat me for cheating. And all the calls I made on fourth down all those years, you know what my favorite fourth down call was?
What?
Punt. It was the most successful play we had.
When I read the Sundance Wicks piece on how he evaluated his basketball team against the Aztecs, I immediately thought of Bob Green. That's amazing. Hey, Bob Green at Montana Tech went 130 and 112. How about that?
That's a winning record.
That's right.
That is a winning record, is what that is.
You know what? As a special teams coordinator, I do agree with this fourth down. Out of all the fourth down plays I called, the one that I love the most is punt. It's the most successful play we had. This is what makes college athletics so great. I mean, that's just people are like now throwing it in the chat. Love it. I'm glad that we got to play that. That was a great clip from yesterday's game. Aztecs again got the dub over Wyoming. When we come back in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to talk baseball. We're going to get to our baseball conversation. Latest rumors on the MLB hot stove. Who is the best compliment to Freddy Fermín? We got a lot to really break down in the 11 o'clock hour when it comes to baseball. Later on, we'll talk NFL. We'll also talk about this scandal in college basketball that went down earlier this morning. Got a lot to get to on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here, and one thing
tonight,
bad idea.
that I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh, God.
Oh, it hit the ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff. What a great leadoff.
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh. No, Rick. There's the Joel we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
Someone gassed.
Chel's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
You better get a hit now.
It's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence, ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him!
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman I can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too, that's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go!
Go!
Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got onto that bat.
Hey, the Surprenant suck.
Come on, Chell.
You can play cello.
Oh, look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick me, dude. You can't see it. It sucks.
I can't see anything.
Oh, I crawled back. Hey, did you ask him to buy you a beer after that?
Hey.
Got us beer, dude.
Out there, dude. You serious right now?
He does.
Dude, yeah, Ethan, seriously, dude.
I know. Hey, Ethan, sit next one. You don't boo nobodies. That's what I'm hearing.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Nice ball, Matt. Nice job.
I'm the best.
Hey, good job. Hey, we won. Nice job. Good job.
Good game, guys. Good game.
Let that big guy's going.
Good game. Where do you want me to sign, sir?
Like where you're always.
Don't send it to Fox.
No, nobody makes me sign. But I'll whatever you need for your kids or whatever, like sign ball or anything. Let me know.
You're all over it.
Bet tonight.
Not a bad idea.
That I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh God!
Oh, it hit the ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff! What a great leadoff!
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh. No, Rick.
There's the Joel we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude. Someone gassed. Shell's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great. Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
You better get a hit now.
It's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence. Ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him.
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman I can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too. That's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go!
Go! Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got onto that bat.
Hey, the Surprenant suck.
Come on, Cello.
I can play Cello.
Oh, look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick me, dude. You can't see it. It sucks.
I can't see anything.
I crawled back. Did you ask? All right, 11 o'clock hour on a Thursday, going into a 3-day weekend. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday. Correct, right? That's this Monday. January flying by. Just for it to come to a screeching halt in February. That seems to be the case every single time. I will tell you that. I always feel like January flies by and February comes to a screeching halt. Does anybody else feel that?
Those 75 days in February really flew by.
I know, yeah. Which is funny because they have the least day. February has the least amount of days. Least amount of days. And it still seems like it takes 3 years to get through that February. But we're enjoying the weather today. The problem with I was just having this conversation with my friend. The weather in January in San Diego is not bad. It's usually kind of spring weather. February sucks, and then March is filled with rain. Anybody disagree with that? That's kind of what the weather is in San Diego.
It's April showers.
I know, but it rains a lot more. It seems like it rains a lot more in March.
Doesn't go with the rhyme, dude. Can we go with the April showers bring May flowers? Can we
but
go
they don't
with
bring
the
May
rhyme?
flowers. It brings May gray. So take that for what it's worth.
Maybe they were talking about the boat.
It's possible. All right. We talked a lot of Aztec basketball in the first hour. We're going to get to some more college basketball in the 1 o'clock hour. We do got some other things that we want to get to. Bud Black was on with Gwen and Chris yesterday. We're going to hear from him in the next segment. But it's time to get to our hot stove that started to cool off a little bit in Major League Baseball. Let's bring in Frank Marchese.
Yeah, we're on frozen stove watch here is what we're on. Only got 2 bits of information for you today. What would the knock-on effect of the Ranger Suarez signing be? Ranger Suarez is was one of the top free agent starters available before the Red Sox swiped him yesterday afternoon, making the market a bit more tense. Framber Valdez is the last remaining quote-unquote superstar pitcher left available, and the Mets and Orioles have broken no new ground from the last update. This now means that the trade market for a starter is growing more and more enticing to teams looking for frontline starters. Freddy Peralta is the big name being thrown around with links to the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Giants, and Braves. As of yesterday from John Heyman, Tariq Skubal is seeming like an unrealistic option. The Twins have been reported to be taking Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez off of the trade block, and the stove surrounding Mackenzie Gore has gone cold. So a lot of need, but no rumors.
Yeah, it's very interesting that some of those names have been like, what are the Twins doing? How about that? Like, I keep going back to Ken Rosenthal, everybody's favorite journalist. Boo, 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 boo. I keep going back to this thing, one of his pieces where he's talking about like Padres got to trade people away because they can't afford this. But at the same time, he goes on and reports that the Minnesota Twins are trying to be competitive this year after they sold half their team at the trade deadline. What are the Twins doing? Why are you taking Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez off the trade block? Why don't you just commit to the rebuild? The whole half in, half out, that's going to put you in baseball purgatory where you're just never going to make the playoffs and you're too good to really decide to do anything. And you're going to be too good to get a decent draft pick. You're not going to win any lottery anytime soon. I just don't understand what the Minnesota Twins are doing. I also find it interesting that all of these trade rumors for these pitchers now have gone quiet when one of the best options as a starting pitcher just got taken off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody pivoting now to Framber Valdez? I mean, are they going to wait for Freddie Peralta? Because a lot of these teams need pitching. Now, the other question is, do you think, I'm just throwing this out here. Do you think that with Ranger Suarez now signing and getting this close to spring training, that teams are now going, all right, I like my rotation enough to make it to the trade deadline. Let's see where things are at in a couple of months. I think that might be the case for some of these squads.
Probably, yeah.
Because if you start breaking down some of the rotations, a lot of the rotations are pretty good. They're not make it through October good, make it to October great. I wonder how many of these teams are like, you know what? By the time we make a deal with one of these other squads, and with the World Baseball Classic going on, and with having kind of a weird spring training, why don't we just wait until the season starts going and let's see what we have in our organization? Maybe that's what a lot of teams are pivoting to. And the asking prices are too high.
Oh, God. Yeah,
maybe the asking prices are just way too high where you could probably get them down a little bit more at the deadline. Deadline's usually panic time. You get better deals at the deadline for the buyers, and you get better deals during the offseason for the sellers. And right now, I think the asking price is probably up for a lot of teams. They're probably going, let's just see what the guy can do. Maybe we can get more value. Maybe we can do this, do that. Maybe we can win and we keep him for another year. That might be a big factor into this starting pitching conversation in Major League Baseball. But I find it a little bit interesting that with Ranger Suarez now off the books, that all of a sudden the starting pitching market has cooled off a little bit because there's a lot of teams that still need starting pitching.
Framber Valdez is still the last big name star. You could throw Zach Gallen in there as well. So there are still names out there. I would be surprised if they get picked up later rather than sooner, because you could probably get their asking price down a little bit as well in that, because you're getting closer to spring training. You got to start ramping up. You got to start getting with the team. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case also. As far as the free agents go.
This is the time. I'm just going off of memory. I'm sure there's data that says what I'm saying is incorrect, but I just feel like this is the time where Preller just kind of goes dormant. And then they usually get a signing right before spring training is when they make a deal. And then you know what? You get a lot of trades at AJ Preller end of spring training, day before they're about to start opening day. Mm-hmm. You've seen a lot of those in the past. We saw that with the Dylan Cease move before they flew off to Korea. We saw that originally when AJ Preller showed up in his first real offseason. And that offseason, they traded for Justin Upton and made all these moves and got Matt Kemp, right? Derek Norris, Will Myers. What did they do right before they went to Los Angeles for opening day? Who did they go get? If you remember correctly, they traded for Craig Kimbrell.
Oh,
the day before. And I don't know I can't remember if Melvin Upton Jr. was part of that one or not, because they made so many deals with the Braves early in AJ Preller's career with the Padres. And I just remember, they all start to blend together at a certain time. But I remember him trading for Craig Kimbrell right before the season started. And he's done that before. And I feel like that's going to be the case when it comes to starting pitching. This is why when we talk about this, these 2 months are so hard to talk Padres baseball, because you think they're done making moves. You think they're done making trades. You think they're done putting together their roster because everything goes quiet. And then I have to bring up, speaking of Doug Gottlieb, the analysis of it's not done yet. You can't evaluate what this roster is until it's complete. You think it's complete. You think it's almost done. You think your remodel is almost done in your house, but you can't be upset at this next phase of the remodel when the whole project's not done yet. And this is the time that I have to bring that conversation up every single year, because what do? They sign somebody right before spring training starts, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is a way different looking team than we expected. Or they make a trade right before the season starts. Or a guy like Rady Vasquez balls out in spring training. Maybe that's the case too.
I got the trade here. Craig Kimbrell and BJ Upton for Cameron Maben, Carlos Quinton, Jordan Perubek, Matt Whistler, and the 41st pick in the competitive balanced draft pick was the trade, and that was made on April 5th, 2015, less than 2 hours before the Cardinal Cub opener.
Yeah, I remember that trade. I was in college. I remember that trade. I'm like, oh, Craig Kimbrell's a Padre now. That's kind of sick. And because they couldn't use him in the first game, I hadn't been there yet. Then you had both the Upton brothers. I remember that trade, and he's done it before. I can't say there's patterns with AJ Preller because there's really not.
Recently, it's been more signings. Like
he gets the big signings for spring training and the extensions. Like, wasn't Fernando's around spring, and Jackson Merrill's is in the springtime or right before the season started.
Manny's was like a couple days after Ben and Woods had him on at spring training.
His extension. And plus, they signed Manny right before spring training because he did his whole press conference in Arizona. So interesting. What's the other one on the list? I think it has to do with Tarek Skubal, does it not?
Yes, the Detroit Tigers. Well, in passing, the Detroit Tigers have not been too active during the offseason, have really only been talked about in relation to arbitration and the trade potential surrounding Tarek Skubal. The Tigers did not have made the postseason each of the last 2 seasons and are keen to keep going for a third, then looking to fill out the rest of the rotation behind Skubal, Flaherty, and Casey Mize. The low leverage starters are who they're targeting, and the low leverage targets that they are looking at right now appear to be Lucas Giolito and Chris Bassett. Giolito is going into his age 32 season after posting a 3.41 ERA in Boston last year, while Bassett is coming off a World Series appearance with the Blue Jays, a 3.96 ERA, and is about to enter his age 37 season. So the Tigers are looking at back end of the rotation pieces to go behind Skubal, Flaherty, Mize, and especially with Jackson Jobe missing this season with Tommy John surgery.
Well, the Tigers got to start building up the rotation anyway, because it doesn't sound like Tarek Skubal's going to be a Detroit Tiger for much longer.
You wouldn't think it, would you?
No, probably not. How do we have a team in a market the size of Detroit not be able to spend money on a guy like Tarek Skubal? This is what's wrong with baseball. This is what's wrong with baseball. This is why the NFL is king sometimes. Now, you only had 2 on the sheet, but we also had this morning, you sent a text about Kyle Tucker. So we do have some Kyle Tucker news as well. That is also on the MLB trade rumors and signings page, Frank, on MLB.com. But Jeff Passan reported that as soon as Thursday, which is today, Kyle Tucker could be making a decision.
Yes.
And among the 3 clubs considered finalists for Tucker, there is one that has shown it might be willing to offer him a 10-year contract, and that's the Toronto Blue Jays. Sounds like the Blue Jays are the favorite. Sounds like the New York Mets are involved. And, of course, the Dodgers are lingering just in case they can steal a deal with Kyle Tucker. But a lot of outlets think that Kyle Tucker is going to make a decision today.
Yeah, I sent you from John Heyman this morning, who said anyone other than those 3 would be a major upset in those sweepstakes. If he does make the decision today, I would not be surprised. I would be more surprised if it wasn't Toronto at this point than if it were anyone else.
I'd go Toronto, New York, LA. And I'm not being biased in that. That's just how I think it's going to play out.
Because we haven't heard that if the Dodgers have offered him a contract, like an official offer for him yet.
And I still think he's favoring Toronto. That's why the information on the $50 million a year from the Mets got leaked. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's just Toronto and LA. Maybe the Mets are being used as a pawn because they like to pretend they're a small market franchise. Their general manager thinks they're a small market franchise, which is pretty funny to watch. Apparently, according to Mike Puma of the New York Post, he confirmed on Thursday that the Mets have a 4-year offer on the table for Tucker.
Which I'm assuming is opt-outs after year 2 and 3, probably. But
let's not talk about anybody being on a plane to Toronto at this point.
Yeah,
I'm done with that. Maybe it's the Shark Tank guy. You never know. Previous reports suggest that the Mets were discussing a short-term deal with Tucker that would pay him $50 million a year. Dodgers are also in the mix and are thought to prefer a shorter deal as well. Quote from Jeff Passan, as he told Sportsnet, I think it's going to happen this week, and it could be sooner than that. The way that it has played out so far is that the Toronto Blue Jays have really been the only team that has shown the willingness to go as deep as 10 years potentially. Tucker, who turns 29 on January 17th, could potentially hit the free agent market again in his early 30s if he does ink a shorter-term, higher AAV deal. On the other hand, a 10-year contract could take him through the remainder of his career. Could. He's 29.
Could. If
he gets offered a 10-year deal, they're going to pay him until he's 39 years old. When has this ever worked out for anybody?
No, it doesn't.
It never works out. That's why I'm shocked that these deals are still happening. Eventually, these teams will just be like, we're not doing this anymore.
I think right now what you're seeing out of Toronto is the desperation. They came so close last year. And I mean, they became within 2 outs.
And their
of winning a
logic,
World Series.
Their logic is the same logic I use to justify the contract that Xander Bogaerts got. And that justification is,
if we win one, it's worth it.
If you win a World Series, it's worth it. But the other thing, too, is this is what you have to do to get a player like this. You're either going to sign him, you're either going to pay him a 5-year contract with a lot more in the AAV, or you're going to get him the 10-year contract. It's going to spread the AAV out so you can still be competitive while he's playing. You're really only paying him for 5 seasons, and then the other 5 are just
hang on and
giving him celebration money. Thanks for winning us a World Series.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a massive risk. And the thing is, if you don't win a World Series, it's going to kill you in the back end, which is what the conversation has been with all these signings that the Padres have had too, is you're paying for the prime years of Machado and Bogaerts. And if they don't win during that time, it's going to be way more difficult to compete after the fact because you got to owe them a lot of money, because unlike what the Dodgers are doing, not every player is going to accept deferred money.
Yep.
Because money is worth more now than it is in the future. So I do agree with the desperate. If you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you are paying to load up your team for the next 3 or 4 years. And the cost of doing business is I got to pay Kyle Tucker when he's 37, 38, 39 years old.
I don't think it's too ridiculous to say that if Jeff Hoffman does not give up that home run in the 9th inning, Bo Bichette is coming back to Toronto. And I don't think Dylan Cease goes there. I think that they would be happy. Of course, they're going to try to contend, but I don't think that they would go this crazy in free agency that they have this year if Jeff Hoffman does not give up that home run. And for Toronto, you might think, well, this is entering salary hell for them. No. George Springer comes off the books. There's the guy from Kevin Gossman comes off the books. They have some big names coming off the books at the end of this season. So while they're putting a lot of money on now, a lot of it also comes off at the end of this year too.
Yeah, they're going to lose. I mean, that's the same thing with a lot of these deals. But you look at Toronto, and I mean, they're spending $282 million on their estimated 2026 payroll. That, by the way, is not their luxury tax payroll. Their expected luxury tax payroll is $310 million. So as much as everybody wants to talk about, like, oh, look, small market team. They're not a small market team. 310. They are the team of Canada. But here's the thing. A lot of teams, when they get close like that, double down because we're right here ready to go, and it's the risk that they take. Did the San Diego Padres not do that after 2022? Did they not do that?
Yeah,
they did that. They signed Xander Bogaerts to a big contract. They needed to splash. They extended Jake Cronenworth, right? Was that the same offseason that they signed Manny Machado to a deal? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it was going into 2024, I believe, was when they did all that. They extended Darvish. They extended Cronenworth.
This is the window. We're here. We're so close. They made it to the National League Championship Series, and you can't blame them for it. That's what you do. We're here. We got this far. We're just a couple pieces away. And the thing with baseball, it's cruel. It is a cruel game where even that, you could just, that didn't happen this year. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Bud Black is back with the Padres in a different role. He's going to talk about that role in just a little bit. He was on with Gwen and Chris yesterday. What did Buddy say? We'll play it for you when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego State Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. I want to remind everybody, especially a guy like Travis Gunderson yesterday. Guy listens all the time. Was he listening at 1 o'clock yesterday? No. He had to last minute get in on the biggest fan. Now, I will say, we did have an interview in the 1 o'clock spot. Okay. Did have an interview. That's on us. I keep forgetting about that when we schedule interviews. That's on me. Foul. I'll take the foul. That's fine.
He draws the foul.
Okay. So, remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97tothefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. How many people have we had qualify? That's quick math, so I don't even have to do it. But looking at the sheet, there's probably a lot of qualifications on there.
There's a decent amount. I know, not from our show, unfortunately. You guys listen. How
many we got?
We have 15 from our show.
Okay, it's not bad.
I was looking at it, it's about half, a little less than half.
I mean, we have 15. Morning show. What if they had all of them? They would have 30, right?
I'm not sure. I would need
in the afternoon. I mean, this is got a lot of people qualifying though, which is great. Everybody that qualifies decreases your chances by a little bit of winning the contest.
Morning show has 20.
Okay, so it's 35 people qualified. And then the afternoon show.
Oh my God, the first week of December, Gwen and Chris had everyone qualify for a week.
That's a great week. Great week. I give or take what, like 20?
They are leading to 21. So we're 6 off the lead, guys.
That's not too bad.
Can we call
21, 20, 41.
1 o'clock, guys.
Like 56?
Right around there, yeah. Sure,
pretty good.
Sure enough.
A lot of qualifiers. Love it.
But we're stone dead last. That's a problem.
That's
like
okay.
I said, we're not competing with the other shows officially.
Frank is internally.
Yes.
Yeah, he goes home and tries to evaluate how he can be better today.
Exactly.
In the biggest fan contest.
Yes.
So,
and unfortunately, the answer keeps falling on you guys. You guys got to call. You guys got to listen around 1 o'clock. You've got to hear your name and you have to call.
People in the YouTube are like, I listen every day. Just call my name. Make it easier.
Brother, your name isn't coming up on the list. I'm sorry. I want to call your name. I want to be better than the other two shows.
First name Go, last name Aztecs. Just we have not seen it one time.
No, we have not.
Must be a UNLV name generator.
There.
Fresno State. They're upset about the oil can. I still think that people are starting to pick up, by the way, the San Diego State might have let the cat out of the bag on the scheduling.
Oops.
Because they also said that they were going to get their Pac-12 schedule in January. That's what the other thing that they noticed, that people noticed. So not only did San Diego State let the cat out of the bag on how many games they're going to play, they also let the cat out of the bag on when they're going to have their schedule released. So nice. Good job. Anyway, let's get to what Bud Black had to say on Gwen and Chris. Bud Black just got hired as a senior advisory role with the San Diego Padres, so he's back in baseball. San Diegan, back in baseball, back with the local ball club, the local 9. What's it like? That's what Gwen and Chris asked about Buddy Black being back in professional baseball. Didn't take very long. I knew it wasn't going to take very long for Bud Black to get a new job. It's great that it's here in San Diego. Here's what Buddy had to say.
Well, guys, it feels good. I think that, for me and so many of us in the game, it's what we do. I feel good physically. The energy level's high. Talking with AJ over the last couple months and a couple other people in the organization, it feels right to come back and help. I mean, that's the bottom line for me. And I think that, I still have a passion for this game. And as you guys know, when you spend time in an organization like I did with the Padres, there's an investment there. Yeah. And, there's been a little bit of a break, but, I still feel as though I want it to happen here. And, hopefully I can bring a little bit to help us get that way.
Love that from Bud Black. How can you not love Bud Black, man?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Obviously, he gets to do a lot of different stuff within the front office with the team as well. And Gwen and Chris also asked about how excited he is to work with the staff.
Yeah, I haven't, Ruben and I have crossed paths. We've, gestured the high sign. I've heard such great things about him, over the last few years. And obviously, I think they're well-deserved. I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to converse with him like, you just mentioned, Tony. I heard he's great. And I heard that, obviously where Craig is and his place now as the manager, those two guys know a great deal about pitching.
Yeah.
So, hopefully our conversations can lead us to, more outs and more strikes and the whole deal. But, I'm really excited to get to know Ruben, get to know Craig's staff, get to know the new people in the organization that I haven't met. There's still some holdovers who have been there a long time who are really solid baseball people to get re-engaged back with those guys too. So I'm looking forward to the whole thing, really. But, to your point about Ruben, that he's a good one.
Talking about the staff that has been put together here in San Diego, adding Bud Black to any type of role with the Padres organization, I think is great news. We talked about it yesterday when the news was announced. Will Myers will also be joining the front office group in a certain capacity as well. He's going to be more in player development. And it's good to have good baseball people back in the organization. It's great to have good. You want good baseball people in the organization, guys that, eat, sleep, drink baseball. And right now, the Padres organization not only is bringing good baseball people in, but also people that have been a part of this organization before that understand the community, that understand San Diego, that really want to make things happen here for the Padres. And I love that Bud Black is back. Plus, he's got managerial experience. I mean, as Craig Stammen has mentioned on a couple other podcasts and entities that some of our shows have played so far about reaching out to Mike Schild. I mean, this is a guy that's trying to be a sponge and absorb as much as he can as a manager. And now you have a longtime manager that a lot of players love, part of this organization that Craig Stammen can ask upon different things. So Craig Stammen, zero managerial experience, is surrounding himself with experienced baseball people, and the front office is surrounding the organization with good, experienced baseball people. And that is a key to success in the long term. And I'm excited to see what unfolds from this. When we come back, we're going to talk more Padres baseball. We'll get to today's sports thread as well as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Broadcasting live at the Bill House Studios, we know how. All guests on 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Here in the baseball world, the Padres baseball world, we've seen a lot of different looks at some news. And as we continue with trying to find, Padres coverage this early on, the other news that we got, or another interesting piece, was AJ Cassavell, who's been coming up with great content during the offseason. He put in his Padres Beat newsletter a lot of different things, but also, what to make of the catching situation for the San Diego Padres. And we're going to take a quick look at that. Like, Freddy Fermín is obviously the starting catcher for the Padres, and AJ Cassavell mentioned this on Gwynn and Chris last week about what he would do in terms of like moves for the Padres. And he said he'd bring somebody else in as a catcher to push Luis Campusano for that backup spot. Like, you just want to give the backup spot to Campusano. And it'd be good to push like Freddy Fermín a little bit too, just in general. He didn't say that, but I agree with the sentiment. You want competition in spring training. And you can never have, like, same with pitching, like, you need guys to catch bullpens, you need catching help, you need backup catchers. They don't really have that in the minor leagues. And so catcher is a need for the Padres. Is it more of a need than first base? No. Is it more of a need than maybe the bench piece? No. Is it more of a need than starting pitching? Absolutely not. Pitching and middle of the order bat are still the priority for number one and number two for the Padres. But the catching position still needs a little bit of work for the Padres as they try to put together this roster. Freddy Fermín is definitely the clear number one as the starting catcher. He's solid defensively. He's respected by pitchers. But I tell you what, and I agree, like, he came off to a great start in a Padres uniform, being an everyday starter, Frank. Because remember, he was backing up Salvi over there in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. When he had to go every single day, his production started to go down a little bit. And by the way, this would be the first year that he is the everyday starting catcher for a Major League Baseball team. You really need some help behind that.
Patience as well.
He's the clear number one, but as AJ Cassavell mentioned, kind of with an asterisk because of his lack of experience being a starting catcher. I think I think most people agree that Freddy Fermín could be a starting catcher for the Padres. I think it's a massive upgrade to the catching position than what the Padres have had over the last decade plus. In reality, a guy that can hit and a guy that does really well defensively, but you're going to have to bring some help in. This is a timeshare position now. It's almost like the running back position in the NFL. You used to have like one guy running the ball and then have a third down back. Now it's like a 1-2 punch in the National Football League because of wear and tear. Same thing for the catching situation. The Padres don't want Fermín catching 130 plus games. They need a legit number two. I don't think you could go into the season right now with Luis Campusano being the guy that balances out Freddy Fermín. He is capable, but you're really at a crossroads right now of what do you do with Luis Campusano? The Padres, according to reports, did not trust him behind the plate last year, which says a lot because they didn't give him any catching opportunities last year. They had him DH a couple times because the guy was tearing up at AAA, which he has done almost every single year. He's been that tweener player. He's been that player that has been at the top of the prospect list for so many years. He was the one guy that the Padres held on to. And as of right now, you're kind of at a crossroads with what you do with Luis Campusano. I think he can help the Padres out. But the fact that the Padres didn't let him catch at the major league level last year tells you everything you need to know about Luis Campusano for the Padres. If they don't trust him to be the catcher last year, if they didn't trust him to be the catcher last year with the bad catching situation that you had offensively and his ability to hit, what makes you think that the Padres are going to be willing going into this season to be like, oh, well, he's, another year. Let's have him catch now and catch about, 100, not 100, but let him catch like 50 games. I don't see it being part of the equation. Fermín's bat is very passable. It's not a strength. He can hit a little bit. I mean, his OPS dipped after the trade, but again, he's playing every single day. Padres believe familiarity with the staff will help. With Luis Campusano, he's out of minor league options. Big-time AAA bat, but defense remains a concern. The reality check on Luis Campusano, Padres didn't trust him behind the plate last year, as we mentioned before, and that says a lot. Best case scenario for Luis Campusano, right-handed bat, bench bat plus emergency third catcher, not really the primary backup. As of right now, down to the minor leagues, you have Blake Hunt in a depth piece. He's not an answer. He's got a minor league deal, competition body, more than a solution. Your current catching group really feels incomplete. Some external options to look out for as we talk about the catching situation. We talked about JT Realmuto during last season, before the Padres acquired Freddy Fermín, right? And it was, maybe he can nurture the young prospects for the San Diego Padres, because the number one prospect for the San Diego Padres is the catcher, the catching position, where we need, needs time. But JT Realmuto is kind of a dream, probably unrealistic. He's going to cost a decent amount of money. You'd have to clear payroll, and for the Padres to clear payroll, I think they're going to clear payroll to get starting pitching, not to get a backup catcher or a guy that's going to split time with Freddy Fermín. You got some mid-tier veterans that make a lot of sense. Guys like Victor Caratini, who's part of the organization. Guys like Vasquez, Diaz, McGuire, Barnes, Sanchez, all fit that steady backup mold. A lot of those names are former Padres, and familiarity could be part of the equation for San Diego if they bring back a catcher. Trade still feels inevitable. AJ Preller, staying quiet usually means something might be coming. And we'll see what happens with the catching position. But you look at the players available, like I said, Victor Caratini, Christian Vasquez, Elias Diaz, Austin Barnes, Gary Sanchez. We mentioned the three players that have already played in this organization, Caratini, Diaz, and Sanchez. It's very interesting to see where the catching situation is going to go, because when you talk about the top prospects for the San Diego Padres, it all stems from the catching prospect in Ethan Salas. And Ethan Salas isn't ready yet. His estimated time of arrival would be 2027. And even at that point, he's going to be a very young catcher. So something that can't be overlooked, not a high priority, but definitely something to monitor as we go into spring training. What else are we monitoring? Well, what else is going on in the sports world that doesn't involve the Padres or Major League Baseball? Let's get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on in the sports world today?
We've got a bunch of good, timely stuff from college basketball coming out today. This was all before everything that happened as well. The NCAA formally asked the Commodity Futures Trade Commission to halt college sports prediction markets, warning that their rapid growth threatens both student athletes' well-being and competitive integrity. I wonder what could possibly do that as well.
Yeah.
In a letter to the
Campbell thing today.
In a letter to the CFTC chairman, NCAA President Charlie Baker urged the suspension until stronger safeguards are established, citing gaps in age and advertising restrictions, integrity monitoring, and anti-harassment protections, and limits on prop-style markets. Baker acknowledged that some operators, including Kalshi, employ monitoring devices, but argued prediction markets still lack key requirements imposed on legal sportsbooks, such as coordinated reporting of integrity concerns and better geolocation tracking. The request comes amid growing legal and regulatory tensions as prediction markets available nationwide to users 18 and older expand into areas like the college game and even transfer portal outcomes, prompting the NCAA to call for federal intervention to stabilize what it views as effectively unregulated betting. Should prediction markets be regulated like traditional sports books when it comes to college sports, or does their peer-to-peer structure justify a different and potentially lighter approach?
Yeah, they definitely need to be structured. The Kalshi stuff is crazy.
Yes.
So we run ads for them all the time, but like, it's amazing what you can put bets on now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because now it's away from betting. Like Kalshi has ingeniously put together a thing that does not count as betting. It's prediction markets. It's like, do you predict? But it's kind of crazy, some of the stuff that's on there. Like there's political and geopolitical questions on there. Like, oh, do you think this will happen? It's like a catastrophic event. There's like odds for it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you trade like a stock market. Like you get it at a small price and then you hope it like goes up in value until like the event actually happens. And then you cash out. I mean, that is crazy.
And it goes to the absurd as well. Like there's a streamer that I watch and there's an event that he is almost expected to go to. He hasn't confirmed whether or not he's going, but he streams every single day. And there's a prediction on Kalshi. Is he going to go to the thing? Easily he can influence that and make money for himself by saying one thing and doing another. Like there's
too many things you can't monitor. It's like it's impossible.
It's so malleable.
How do you stop him from getting a VPN and having his buddy do it for him?
Exactly.
Like just giving him a check and like now it's crazy how that works.
It's amazing. Everyone hated gambling until they found a way to make money off of it, and now everything is gambling.
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, what's the point of like, why is gambling illegal? Because of, if you can't control your own vice, you can't control your own vice. But now you understand why. It just continues to spiral out of control for people and for entities and for really the justification for anything. My friend, when she watches college football and football now, because of all those stories, she goes, I wonder what team the mob picked today. Like that's how she views
exactly.
the thing. It's like, what mob influence? Who do they have influence in this game? Is this game actually real?
And
that's a problem. That is a problem for our industry.
Problem.
That you have casual fans going like, is this game legit or not?
And for me, like especially college basketball is a little bit closer to home for me because my uncle, who was responsible for helping me get into this business, is a Seton Hall alum. They don't have a football program. They're a basketball school. For my home university, Hofstra, they're on local television tonight. They're usually hidden away on Flow Sports. They are on SNY tonight in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area. They are a basketball school. I want the legitimacy of college basketball to not be questioned more than anything else. And this and stuff like the news that broke this morning don't help that in any way, shape, or form.
Number 2.
The NCAA Division I approved changes to transfer windows across several sports, most notably shortening and shifting men's and women's basketball transfer windows to begin the day after their national championship games. The basketball window will now last 15 days instead of 30, opening April 7th through the 21st for men and April 6th through the 20th for women this spring. And the changes take effect immediately. The cabinet also approved a new 15-day transfer window tied to head coaching changes, similar to a policy already adopted in football, while other sports saw adjustments, including shorter windows in wrestling, championship-based timed in men's ice hockey, and the elimination of post-indoor season window in track and field. Do shorter championship-based transfer windows better balance roster stability with athlete freedom, or do they risk limiting players' ability to make informed transfer decisions? Basically, is the shorter window better?
Yes.
Or is it hurting the, like, are you making a knowledgeable decision on your transfer?
Well, they're all getting pushed into the transfer portal by their agents that are not agents that are trying to get paid.
Yeah.
That's a bad influence. The same thing with a lot of youth coaches. They convince you that you got to play their sport year round because if they don't play, they don't get paid. It's the same thing with the agents. You staying at the same place isn't getting the agent paid more.
Mm-hmm.
You moving gets the agent paid more. You got to understand who's really making the decisions here in college athletics. Yeah, it should be 5 days. Find your new home and get out. Make it not as valuable to enter the transfer portal, and they all have to have windows after the postseason ends. Noon hour when we come back.
The NFL division.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh!
Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks. The next group coming up too. Ow! I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
I mean, Phillip Rivers.
God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon got here. How we
I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but chat right now.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan. I think I'll pick up that other one.
Cigar guy.
Trade myself to there.
That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there!
Oh, we got a bird, right?
Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
What? One. Hey, bud. Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh!
Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks. The next group coming up too. Ow! I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
I mean, Phillip Rivers.
God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way. Falcon.
They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon got here. How we
I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but chat right now.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan. I think I'll pick up that other one.
Cigar guy.
Trade myself to there.
That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there!
Oh, we got a bird, right?
Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
What? One. Hey, bud. Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here?
Oh!
Shot.
Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks. The next group coming up too. Ow! I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
Phillip Rivers.
He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon we got here. How we playing?
I could just.
That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on 97.3 The Fan. We are broadcasting live for the Bill House Studios. We know how. Alongside Frank Marchese, I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We were talking about a lot of different things in the sports thread that were very interesting when it comes to college athletics. We're going to talk about that FBI probe today with college basketball and point shaving. We're going to get into the details of that a little bit later in the show. Mikey Varis was on with Ben and Woods earlier today. We're going to hear that in the 1 o'clock hour of the show as well. We got a lot of news in the NFL that we want to get to here in this hour. We also got college basketball actually on the court that we want to talk about also. I want to go back to that report that you had in the sports thread about the new transfer portal. So the college basketball, because all these entities in college athletics come up with their own rules. So college basketball is going to push the transfer portal to after the end of the postseason.
College, yes.
And it's going to be 10 days or 15 days.
Men's and women's college basketball are moving it to 15 days, starting the day after the national championship game. So it'll be for men again. It'll be April 7th through the 21st, and for women it'll be the 6th through the 20th.
15 days is plenty of time to enter the transfer portal and find a new home.
Yes.
It's plenty of time. And they're doing it after the NCAA national championship.
There is also, like I was saying, there is also shorter windows for wrestling, men's ice hockey, and also track and field. They're also shortening their transfer windows as well.
Yeah, they should. The transfer window doesn't need to be a month long. These are leagues for the benefit. I mean, this is now, we're in a situation now. It's funny. And why not? They might as well fight for whatever they can have. College athletes want the benefits of being an amateur and the benefits of being a professional without the consequences of either of them. And then they cry foul every time that they have to have any type of consequences, aside from the fact that they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. And they get to pick and choose when they go wherever they want, whenever they want.
And the worst part is they break every single time. They bend to their will every single time.
I know. But it's just like every single time. It's constant. We want all the perks. That's not how the world works. Like there are downsides to a lot of this stuff too. It's the same thing as, the reason why you get paid so much money for XYZ, there's usually a caveat to all of those things. Like I look at professional athletes all the time. The caveat to them making a ton of money in this league is dealing with the media and also dealing with the public. Like we talk about a lot. Like Yu Darvish and his family, they live here in San Diego because it's tough to go back to Japan because the guy is just surrounded by people all the time. That comes with the territory of being a professional baseball player. That comes with the territory of being a professional athlete, right? is being in the public eye at all times. Is it exhausting? Yeah, I'm sure it is exhausting. But there's a reason why you get paid the money you get paid. It's not necessarily for all the benefits of your job, but most of the time you get paid for what you get paid for a lot of the negatives of the job. And current college athletes want all the positives with none of the negatives. Don't we all? Don't we all want all the positives without any of the negatives? But there's caveats to a lot of these things. And this is one of them. Now, I sent you that clip from one of the spearheaders of these of the rights of college athletes, right? One of these agents that, the virtue signaling of I care about the kid as he makes hundreds of millions of dollars. And he was talking about the leagues don't want to do the collective bargaining and they don't want to treat these guys like employees. I'm going to tell you right now, college athletes, they don't want to be known as employees. Because with that, loses all the freedom. The colleges don't want these guys to be employees for a lot of reasons. You got to pay them benefits, all this other stuff. They want to get a collective bargaining for that. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these college athletes don't know what would potentially come with a collective bargaining agreement. And by the way, could you imagine in the college world, how catastrophically bad it would be for college sports to have a lockout? Think about that. Think about how bad it is for baseball every time they have a lockout. And here's the deal. The owners and the players don't really want a lockout. They do it for negotiation purposes, but they all lose if that's the case. Could you imagine the college football season's about to start and you miss time because there's a lockout between the players and the schools? That'd be a quick death to college athletics. They're signing up for this stuff. They need to make the league as competitive as possible because it's an entertainment league, all of these leagues now, because they have fully committed to being professional. And these are the consequences of the actions. So no, I don't feel bad for them cutting the days in half for the transfer portal. I don't feel bad for certain contracts. I don't feel bad for what college athletics is turning into because you knew this was coming when you decided to pay the college athletes and pay them for stuff more than what NIL is. You have to be able to limit the playing field somehow, to balance the playing field somehow. They have to have rules in place for competition. It is a competition-based deal. And here's the thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. I don't know why that's never part of the equation. College athletics will continue to find other players that want to do the deal. And when they decided to play, it's like with any job, right? Every job that you have ever agreed to do, you thought the deal was good when you signed up to do the job. And eventually it gets to a point where you don't want to do the job anymore because you feel like that's when you move on to the next thing. But the reality is when they signed up for this gig, they were all on board to do this gig. And now some stipulations get put in place we don't like this. Hey, well, you know what? That's life. We don't like everything that gets sent our way on a lot of these different things. I'm all in favor of doing this. They got to fix the calendar for college football now. College basketball is starting to bounce back out. You have to disincentivize a lot of the transfer portal and a lot of these different parameters around college athletics to make it more competitive. Because right now, the teams at the top, the rich teams, are reaping the benefits of all of this virtue signaling about sticking up for the college athlete, who, by the way, have it the best out of any of the kids that are at the schools. Scholarship and additional money. What's really going out the door, though, that a lot of these college players don't understand with the loyalty thing, is a benefit of playing college athletics. A major benefit of playing college athletics for a school for 4 years was the alumni at that school hiring you because you played for their school. That happened a lot, Frank, where they got great jobs out of college because they were the star player for all these Fortune 500 companies and all these CEOs that went to these schools. They love hiring those guys. They love hiring those players just to talk sports with them at the school. They had a great benefit. The alumni base took care of their college athletes after they went through, that's out the door with guys moving around to chase a buck. And it's pretty sad. I think a lot of the time was, that's that you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of college athletes are going to slowly start to realize that. And unfortunately, it's the ones that are going to get punished the most are the kids that are currently like 7 and 8 years old that are stud athletes, that their entire world's going to change when they get to college. And it's really a shame, Frank.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's you're breaking it now is what you're doing. And the people who get the shortest end of the stick, you think you're getting the short end of the stick now. Wait until the kids are going through this broken system while it is being fixed. Because when we get to a point where it's so far gone, that the system is so far broken, that now the NCAA is the good guy again, and all of these restrictions are coming down, and it's getting worse and worse and worse to be a college athlete, those are the kids that are going to really rue you guys. Those are the kids that are really going to despise the generation before them for ruining everything. It's going to be for as bad as you think it is now, it's going to be worse a couple of decades down the line.
And a lot of it to me is with the agents. I mean, that's the next thing they got to regulate are the agents, the quote agents in this deal, because what they're doing is like a marketing agent can take 20% in the NFL.
Yeah.
A regular agent where it's pay to play, like where you're, negotiating the contracts, they get limited 4%. And what's happening right now is all of these people that are not agents that are getting kids deals are stealing for that because there's no regulations. They can make whatever deal they want. These kids don't know any better. Their families don't know any better. And they're signing away 20% of what they make to the agent, let alone talk about taxes and everything like that. I mean, you start doing the math on some of these deals, these kids are not walking away with that much more money, and they're alienating fan bases for it for like an extra $100,000, which is not life-changing money in this day and age of living in the United States. It's really not. I mean, I don't even need to put out like everybody here in San Diego knows to live comfortably how much money you got to make in San Diego to live comfortably in the city. It's a ridiculous amount of money. And so like a couple $100,000 is not life-changing money, but these agents need to get paid. They convince kids to go to the portal. And I talked about it yesterday. There's over 10,000 kids in the portal for college football as of yesterday. And 6,800 of them still need homes, and there are not that many homes available. It's a game of musical chairs. And the only ones that are making the most money on it are these illegitimate agents that have no regulations that are convincing children, they are children, convincing these players to sign deals with them. It is a mess. And this is all stemming back from the NCAA not wanting to let kids get a sandwich from their coach or an alumni because they were at the time poor because they weren't really getting anything and having to give up a lot of their stuff. They went from, we should just allow a couple of things for NIL and let's regulate it and let's put in the rules, to let everybody do whatever they want and we don't really care anymore. And it's created this terrible environment for college athletics. I mean, absolutely terrible. We got to take a break. When we come back, the NFL, actual professional sports, coaching carousel continues to run rampant in the NFL. There's a lot of interesting moves, a lot of interesting plays. We're going to talk about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. We got the midday sports standoff we need to get to coming up in the next segment. If you could take me down in some sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize: 2 tickets to Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, a 2-night stay at Park MGM Las Vegas, and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy's solo hits, and more, only in Las Vegas this March 11th to the 21st and September 18th to the 26th. Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. All right, we got a lot of NFL news to talk about when it comes to what is going on in the coaching carousel. Two of the biggest names available, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, were the two longest tenured head coaches in the National Football League before they got relieved of his duties, and two, stepping away, and Mike Tomlin. John Harbaugh has apparently found his new home. Now, I don't think the deal has yet become official. Is that correct?
No, it is not finalized. As of last night, they have, from what I read from Adam Schefter last night, there's no money, there's no length of time, there's nothing, but there's an agreement that John Harbaugh will be the head coach of the New York Giants.
So it sounds like that's going to be the case, which is interesting about the timeline with John Harbaugh. He showed up to the facility yesterday and then left without a deal. He still technically doesn't have a deal. I guess the contract terms are still being negotiated, but John Harbaugh is most likely going to be the new head coach of the New York Giants. Anybody hear Matt Scraby talk about that yesterday?
I did not know.
He said it was happening, and then he had to backtrack because it wasn't happening yet. He's like, I feel so bad about all the Giants fans out there in San Diego that thought that John Harbaugh was going to be their new head coach. I wonder how many Giants fans there are out there besides you and our friend Cello. Why Harbaugh makes sense for the Giants? I mean, obviously for the Giants, I think it makes a lot of sense. The guy's won almost every single year he was with Baltimore. He was 180 and 113, won the Super Bowl, coach of the year in 2019. He's at 18 seasons with the Ravens. Giants are 7-27 over the past 2 seasons and desperately are looking for credibility and structure. Harbaugh brings accountability, discipline, and sustained success, everything New York has lacked. Here's what I don't understand about this move for John Harbaugh. I mean, obviously money talks and everything like that. He's jumping on a sinking ship.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Joe Sheehan, their general manager.
Right, but
he should have been fired like twice already.
Harbaugh's a name that can outlast a general manager change like that.
It doesn't matter. You're setting yourself up for failure doing that, even if you are John Harbaugh. The Giants are a sinking ship. They've been a sinking ship for since basically Eli Manning left. They got good talent, Jackson Dart and everything like that, but they get off to a rough start. It's going to be tough for the new guy to come in and just not be like, well, Harbaugh didn't do well his last couple of years with the Ravens. I need my own guy. There's something to be said about wanting your own guy.
No, I agree. I'm not saying any of those points are wrong, but I think Harbaugh is a big enough name that would be able to outlast some of that. He would be a guy who would have some sort of input in who the new general manager is. He's earned that right. He's had that cachet in the league.
You cannot have a head coach help you decide who the general manager is in any walk of any professional sport.
I agree with you. I'm just saying this is how, as a Giants fan, you would rationalize.
Oh, no. Let me make something clear. For the Giants, it's great.
Oh, it is.
I'm saying
yes.
For John Harbaugh personally, I don't understand what he's doing. He is jumping on a sinking ship. For the Giants, it's fantastic. Fantastic. If you're Joe Sheehan, this is great. This guy's going to save my ass because I should have been fired 2 or 3 times already for how bad of the drafts I've put together.
He should not
the lousy rosters that I have had. And to me, I get it from a Giants perspective. I don't understand it from a John Harbaugh perspective.
Unless he thinks he could do what Bill Belichick did in New England, where he is the guy he is the one that the buck stops with him. That's the only way I could see that going.
The NFL stands for not for long. You just saw Pete Carroll not even get more than a year to try to turn around what is an awful franchise. The New York Giants right now are an awful franchise. It starts from the top. And if the top is still murky and muddy, it doesn't matter who you bring in as a head coach. I mean, he could do everything that he wants to do, but like I've criticized the Ravens for letting go of John Harbaugh. I thought it was foolish on their part. I know he's been there a long time, but the guy won you a Super Bowl and he's had a winning record in almost every single year that he's been there. And it was a missed field goal away from going back to the postseason. I mean, they were just there with great numbers. Now, there might be some disconnect on the whole Lamar Jackson situation and John Harbaugh, but out of all the jobs available, he quickly is going to decide he was going to be with the New York Giants. It's a little head scratching to me, unless the Giants overpay for him. And if you're Joe Sheehan, you're doing that to try to save your own ass. I love it from a Giants perspective. I don't love it for the sense of John Harbaugh. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why John Harbaugh would jump on a sinking ship, because it is a sinking ship and he's going to have to try to plug some holes to keep this thing afloat.
There is another option, and Go Aztecs just put it in the chat. Maybe Sheehan is gone. Maybe he is gone. Maybe he is out. They're just waiting. They're going to announce both at the same time. I don't know. From what the Giants have on the field, they look as though they have their franchise quarterback. They have a psychopath behind him. They've got great receivers. Their defensive line, they have drafted the defensive line over the last couple of years. The defense itself looks fine. Their focus right now this year should be to draft offensive linemen. If they could do that, they can be competitive. The second biggest issue with that team is Abdul Carter and accountability. Get some accountability into this organization. Get a stable coach who knows what it takes to win into this organization. Doesn't matter how much it costs. You've gone through 6 head coaches now, if you're the New York Giants. All 6 of them first-time head coaches. You've been on that carousel for way too long. You needed to make a big boy move like this in order to be taken seriously and give the fan base some hope. And that's exactly what Mara and company have done.
Well, the thing is they went above. I mean, they're highly involved with this. Steve Tisch and Chris Mara have been personally involved. Harbaugh flew in on Tisch's private jet. John Mara. But anyway, this is the conversation. This is the ownership taking over.
Which, if that's the ownership taking over, that would also lead me to believe that Shin is gone.
Then why is he on the payroll still anyway? They should have got rid of him already.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
So for me, I don't get it from a Harbaugh perspective. I get it from a Giants perspective.
Unless it is a deal like Harbaugh's getting both. He's getting general manager and head coach.
That never works. And then all of a sudden I'm out. Now thumbs down.
I don't know.
It didn't work when Belichick was doing that. That's like the years he did not have success. You can't have a guy do 2 jobs in the NFL. You can't have the head coach making all the GM changes. Every head coach wants that autonomy, and it never works. It never works because it's just too much. He's trying to game plan, and you need somebody to do the general manager job for you. You could get involved. You could say, these are the players I want, but you can't have the head coach do that. You can't have the head coach call shots. I mean, in the front office, he's there to be the head coach. If you want him to hire him to be the general manager, he could be hired to be the general manager, but that needs to be 2 separate entities. And there's organizations that understand that always have the most success. I mean, look at just locally in college football. Sean Lewis was trying to be a GM and a head coach at the same time. How well did that work out for the Aztecs 2 years ago? Terrible. It's awful. Disaster. They bring in a GM. He handles a lot of some of the business stuff. All of a sudden, Sean Lewis could focus on football. And guess what? They had a way better season. I like it from the Giants' perspective. I don't get it from the Harbaugh perspective. I really don't.
Adam Paul, I'm looking in the chat. I'm not seeing the time and money. I'm seeing Jonathan Jones's tweet that you're saying, but I'm not seeing contract length, and I'm not seeing money.
I'm not seeing that anywhere either. I have yet to see the information on the contract potentially for John Harbaugh being the head coach of the New York Giants.
But if let's just say if that rumor is true that Harbaugh's getting $20 million a year, that's not just to be a head coach.
$20 million a year. Is anybody getting that at any level of football?
No. That's why I'm saying if that is the case, and if that is true, there is no shot that is to be just a head coach.
No, that's a ridiculous amount of money. I'm trying to find the we got to look for that deal. There's no way he's getting paid that amount of money. We'll take a look into it. What's Mike Tomlin going to do? We got some information on what the Steelers situation is on their sidelines, as well as we get into our midday sports standoff. Also, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to join the midday sports standoff. We'll talk about the coaching carousel a little bit more in the NFL when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 to the Fan.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
Scraby, come on, man. You can pull this out. You can win it. I don't think this team has a strike, but I'm questioning myself. The Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
They just played.
I know.
You'd think that you would know.
Do they have a stripe?
They have two.
Yes! Yes!
Listen to Quinn and Chris weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 The Fan.
Hot Tub, Hot Tub, Hot Tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2026 inventory Friday through Sunday. Snapdragon Stadium. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2026 inventory. Hot tubs starting at $29.95. All inventory 40 to 80% off. See the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Snapdragon Stadium. Free admission. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Collectors, Retro Card Show is back in San Diego. Join us at the Town and Country Resort on January 17th and 18th. 400 tables, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC, JSA, and PSA submitters will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars, and free prizes. Don't miss it. Retro Card Show, Saturday and Sunday, January 17th and 18th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to FrobroCardShow.com. That's FrobroCardShow.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Sammy Hagar and world-renowned chef Guy Fieri bring you Santos Super Premium additive-free tequila. Santo Tequila. Tequila set free. Drink responsibly. Tequila 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Santos Spirits, Las Vegas, Nevada. Discover at santospirits.com. What if the life of your dreams was closer than you think? Learn how to make it happen on Ease into Retirement with financial advisor Tom Mosley. Saturdays at 8 a.m. on KWFN. Brought to you by Mosley Wealth Management.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. It Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game, put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Pro Savings Days are on at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get an additional 5% off when you buy 5 or more select GE, Whirlpool, and Electrolux kitchen or laundry major appliances. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 123. Discount valid to My Lowe's Pro Rewards members only. Exclusions and other restrictions apply. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The New York Giants are expected to hire former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh as their head coach as soon as today on Thursday. And if this happens, it is a move that raises the floor of the organization big time. Harbaugh may not bring schematic advantages, but he brings a culture of winning into a team that's become accustomed to losing. This can only be qualified as a home run hire for the New York Football Giants. I'm Nick Costos.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Kalshi. Trade on anything. Make money trading on sports, politics, culture, and more legally nationwide with Kalshi. From sports to Bitcoin and even the Oscars. If it matters, you can trade on it. Trade the game, player props, and more. Use code FAN for $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
This is San Diego's #1 sports station, broadcasting live from the Bill Howe Studios. We know how.
A lot of conversation about what the deal could potentially be. Nothing official yet. Sounds like it might be a 5-year deal for John Harbaugh. Upwards to $100 million. It would be $20 million a year. He becomes the highest paid coach, one of the top 3 highest paid coaches in the National Football League with that contract. That's a lot of money for John Harbaugh. That's why John Harbaugh said yes to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got a raise. He got fired. He got a raise. Yeah, good for him. He'll take the check on the buyout when the new GM comes in after the Giants win 5 games next year. I don't know why they didn't just get rid of Joe Sheehan in the first place. I mean, how many opportunities are you going to give this guy in New York? I mean, how many? Here you are. Let's hire John Harbaugh. Yeah, Mike Tomlin hears those numbers and goes, maybe I don't need a year off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question what the Ravens are doing, I guess, at the same time.
Yeah, everything that I'm seeing, and Adam Paul, we didn't say you were wrong. We're just saying we didn't see that. Everything I'm seeing is everyone is agreeing on the 5 years, but the people that I trust the most, the Ian Rappaports of the world, the Adam Schefters of the world, aren't saying a money figure. So the closest thing I would get to believing it is what Diana Rossini put in The Athletic, saying that it's around the $20 million area. So it could be less, could be more. But the 5-year deal I'm seeing is what I believe. I want to see the true report of the money first.
Yeah, I would accept a $20 million a year deal. Of course I would. Right? Absolutely. Hey, good for John Harbaugh. I can't imagine that being that's the deal where you have to take it if you're John Harbaugh. They made him a deal he couldn't refuse. And again, it sounds like it was a lot of ownership influence.
And then when he gets fired after this year, because the Giants go 2-15 again, they get to pay him $80 million to go home and not coach for them. Which, again, Adam, would you mind paying me $80 million to not work here?
Adam says no, because he would love to get paid $80 million. Everybody in this building would love to get paid $80 million to never work again.
Adam Paul, again, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that the people that I trust the most are not reporting a money thing. You may be right. And if that's the case, great. It's $20 million. I'm just saying the people that I trust the most are not reporting a money figure. They're only reporting the years. That's it.
$20 million a year. It's a lot. I'm sure there might be some incentives in there too that could even boost it up, but that's a deal that makes him the highest paid coach in the NFL, potentially tied with Andy Reid.
I did expand at the beginning of this segment, Adam.
Other coaching carousel news was the Steelers shakeup, right? Mike Tomlin steps down. He resigns after 19 seasons as a Steelers head coach, citing family reasons and a desire to step away for now. He's tied with Chuck Noll as the winningest Steelers coach. He went 193, 114-2, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Lombardi Trophy, never had a losing season. A lot of playoff frustration for the Steelers. 9-year postseason win drought. Fan chance to fire Tomlin in week 13, likely added context, but Rooney says family played the biggest role. Aaron Rodgers, Tomlin's departure likely ends the chance of Rodgers returning. He famously joined Pittsburgh to play for Mike Tomlin. They got a very veteran-heavy roster. Steelers defense loaded with T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, Jalen Ramsey, meaning the next coach must manage a lot of aging stars, and quarterback succession. Team has stockpiled draft capital, aiming for a 2026-2027 quarterback. So as you look for next head coach in Pittsburgh, 4th head coach since 1969, Rooney and Art Rooney, the owner, and general manager Omar Khan are leading the search immediately. Candidates already requested. Nate Shielhaas, the Rams passing game coordinator, Chris Shula, the Rams DC, Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins DC, Brian Flores, the Vikings DC. They're trying to focus on a young or defensive-minded coach preferred, but open to leadership and fit with franchise culture. With the staff shakeup expected, most assistants are on expiring contracts. New coach will have full control over the staff. Steelers are a head coach-driven team with a coach influencing the roster, draft, and staff decisions. Rooney sees the team as still in contention mode, but not a rebuild. Sometimes you have to have the horses, sometimes you don't, but you try every year. Leadership and motivation, top priorities in selecting the next head coach, must command respect and hold players accountable daily. In terms of the Steelers, I'm not necessarily convinced that Mike Tomlin was forced out. I think he was kind of burnt out. The reports that we were getting throughout the season was he was already like kind of looking at getting out of there over the last couple of years, over the last couple of months for sure. And sometimes you just get burnt out. I mean, He continually went 10-7, and they're right there, but not over the top. And I have to bring this up because Gwen and Chris talked about it yesterday when it comes to the Steelers' job. Because everybody talks about how it's like you got to get rid of this is Mike Tomlin's fault. The grass isn't always greener in terms of bringing a head coach. You still have a massive quarterback problem. I mean, I just went through the quarterbacks that were the leading passers on the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't even mention all the other players that had gotten starts for the Steelers at quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger had retired. Ben Roethlisberger retired after the 2021 season. He only played in, he played in 16 games that year. Mason Rudolph played in 1. Here are the quarterbacks that you have had since 2021 in Pittsburgh. Again, you could blame Mike Tomlin all you want. Oh, it's a leadership thing. Oh, it's the defensive scheme they run. Oh, it's whatever. Maybe it's run its course. But they had Kenny Pickett start 12 games in 2022 and Mitchell Trubisky start 5 games in 2022. They had Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky all start games in 2023. They had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields start games in 2024. And then last season, they had Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph start games. These are not prime years for Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. You can say everything you want about a coaching situation. We got to change everything. It's all Mike Tomlin's fault. But the reality is, who's playing quarterback for the Steelers? Their defenses have been good the last handful of years. They've always been pretty good. But they don't have offensive weapons. They haven't had offensive weapons in a long time. Oh, wow. They got DK Metcalf. Sick. DK Metcalf is now on the second half of his career. You look at maybe you have a general manager problem than anything else. The rosters that the Steelers have had the last couple of years have been mediocre rosters, and guess where they have finished? Mediocre. They've just kind of been mediocre. They've been better than the Raiders. You are putting yourself in quarterback purgatory, which you have been for the last couple of years. And the thing is as much as Steelers fans want to complain about where they're at, they can quickly turn themselves into the Raiders without the proper hiring of a head coach and not having a quarterback. They got to cut this thing down to the studs. The owner says he's not a rebuild. That's part of the problem for the Steelers. They're a mediocre team. They're stuck in the purgatory of mediocrity, which is a state of limbo and a bad place to be in if you're an NFL team. A really bad place to be in if you're an NFL team. And so, as of right now, you look at who the starter is for the Steelers. It's Mason Rudolph. And guess what? Steelers made the playoffs. Which means Steelers don't have that great of a draft pick. And by the way, I know Ron LeMason talking about Will Howard because he's a K-State guy. I don't think Will Howard's the answer either at quarterback for the Steelers. And to be honest with you, you start looking at the draft, at this year's draft, there's a reason why all these guys are not opting in to go to the NFL draft. Let's sign up on a sinking ship that you get picked off by when it's like the Raiders and the Jets drafting quarterbacks. It's more lucrative to be in college than it is to sign a rookie deal in the NFL at quarterback. And you look at the next draft class for the NFL, by the time the Steelers pick, there's not a lot of guys out there that you really want. And even if you decide to trade up, there's not a lot of guys up there in the top half that you really want to sell all your draft picks for. It's time to start loading up on the offense and get your offense to a point where they're ready to cook when you're ready to draft a quarterback in 2 years. The Steelers have a quarterback problem. They have a quarterback problem. So until they fix that problem, it doesn't honestly matter who the head coach of the Steelers is going to be. You go look for some young. I think they got to go find some young, offensive-minded guy. The Steelers have always been known to play good defense. They've always played good defense. They've had the defensive-minded coaches. It's time to jazz up the offense a little bit in Pittsburgh, and that's where I think that the Steelers should go. Adam's right too. It's more lucrative to play in college on your compared to a rookie deal. The second deal is where you make all your money. But these guys are going to try to cash in as much as they can on the college deals before the rookie contracts. A lot of these guys are going to get paid, are going to get a pay cut when they get to the NFL. Did you see how much Dante Moore is expected to get next year as the Oregon starting quarterback, Frank? It's like $7.5 million.
Yeah.
$7.5 million. Raiders will be fun in the next couple of years. Pete Carroll wasn't the fit. I've heard that from the Raiders for a decade plus. A decade plus. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. If we do have time here, we get a contestant. We can get a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. If you could take me down some sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize. 2 tickets to see Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, a 2-night stay at Park MGM Las Vegas, and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy's solo hits, and more, only in Las Vegas this March 11th through the 21st and September 18th to the 26th. Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973 if you want to jump in. Aztec tickets will be given away in the 1 o'clock hour, as we will have a trivia question for you for that. So we'll see if anybody wants to be a contestant today. It looks like we might have somebody. to play in the midday sports standoff. And if we have one, we will get to it. We've got a handful of people have called in here for the game, and it sounds like we're ready to go. Let's get to today's midday sports standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, we got playing today.
We have Brad in Oceanside playing today. How you doing, Brad?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. All right, so today's topic, college football. We got the national championship game coming up on Monday. So your question here today is, which teams, there are 12 different schools that have made the national championship in the college football playoff era. Who are the 12 schools that have made the national championship, not won it, just made the game in the college football playoff era? Brad, you got it?
Yeah.
All right. So you have the first pick.
Okay. Alabama.
Alabama has made it the most. They have made it 6 times.
Georgia.
Georgia has made it 3 times. Brad.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame has made it only once. That was last year, Braden.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, just like Georgia, has made it 3 times. Brad?
Michigan.
Michigan has made it once. Looking for teams that have made the college football national championship game.
Oregon. They made the first one.
Oregon, and that's the... Yes, they're playing.
Okay.
That's the what? What?
I don't know. I lost my...
That's 6 off the board out of the 12. We're
Yes,
halfway
it
there.
is. Brad.
Well, Indiana.
Indiana, correct.
Miami.
Going with the 2 easy ones. There you go.
4 left.
Penn State.
No, thank you for breaking my heart, Brad.
If you listen to Penn State fans, you would assume that they did. No.
Braden.
Clemson.
Clemson has made it 4 times. That is the last of the teams that have made it on multiple different occasions. And I know Braden has one saved in his pocket. So, Brad, you are going to have to get this one.
All right. LSU.
Correct. Now, let's hope.
Tigers.
Let's hope for Brad's sake, because Braden has 5. Brad, you now have 5. You have... Oh, sorry. Never mind. We have 2 answers left.
We do have 2 answers left.
You can still tie. Braden.
The TC Horned Frogs have made it.
That was the one that I knew was in your pocket. So, Brad, you can't win, but you can tie, which is just as good as a win if you get this one right.
Oklahoma.
No, there's still hope here.
This is from like a couple years ago, wasn't it?
I believe it was the first one, the first college football playoff.
No, the first college football playoff, Ohio State beat Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Washington was just in it.
Yeah, that was it. Washington is it. Brad, I'm sorry. Good game today, though, as Braden once again comes out on top.
Who says I was bad at trivia? Oh, just my friend when it's trivia night. You're so bad at trivia. It's not how she sounds. But no, I'm good at worthless sports information. Like that. Lists like that. Perfect. I would have dominated that category in trivia last night.
We all have to know what we're good at.
Yes. Florida State won the national championship the year before the college football playoff. The people that said Florida State. Auburn also won.
Yeah,
Florida
State.
I don't even think Auburn's ever made the college football playoff.
Florida State was the last BCS national champion.
People get that confused because the next year, after they went 12-0 and then won the national championship with, oh God, what's his name? Guy that eats the crab legs.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. The next year, they made the playoff as the number 1 seed. They got in because they went undefeated. And it was like, oh, you have to put them in the playoff, even though they hadn't beaten anybody good. And then Oregon just dismantled them in the Rose Bowl. And then Auburn hasn't been good since Cam.
Yeah. They've been really bad.
Has Auburn even made the I don't think they've even made the
I don't think so.
college football playoff.
No, I don't think they have.
We didn't really get a big discussion into it. We'll do it in the 1 o'clock hour about the 2 new proposals for the college football playoff. I'm super irritated with the Big 12 and what they want to back. It's like the schools that don't, the conferences that don't want automatic qualifiers are acting a fool. Why let committee members pick at large bids? You know who they're going to pick. Stupid. Just let it be played on the field. There's 2 proposals right now that are getting discussed before the national championship on Monday. We'll talk about that in the 1 o'clock hour. But Mikey Varas got a contract extension. Shuki Lozano did not. There's a little drama there, and Mikey Varas was on with Ben and Woods earlier this morning to talk about his contract extension and a lot of other stuff with San Diego FC. We're going to play that for you when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. Go. Right at him. Down, though. It's a good ball, though. 1 foul. What do we say? Pyatt. Down. Good ball. Attaboy, Mike. Nice hit. Hey. Attaboy, good swing. God damn it, Sam. Too early. Good piece, though. Good piece. Good ball. He didn't want that. It's good. Better pick me up. Just close. We got 2. Line. Out. Hey, we got 1. Ball sounds soft. Hey, say hi. If he goes up, say it. Hey, you gotta tell him hi. If you see him go up, say up so I can burn. It's terrible. Hey, you see him throw it up like that, you just gotta go back. I gotta hear it. Hey, Peter, don't forget to tip it. A little bit. Tip. Hey, you got 2. All right, leadoff guy hits the ball far. Third guy doesn't really know what he's doing. Good. He's not going to catch it. Nice. Good piece. Come on. I need that. That's so. Nice ball. A boy. That's a run. A boy. Right at him. That's right. We got 2 runs. Good swing. Too shallow, Peter. You got to take away their shot, though. So stay at the same distance. I'll move. Thank you. Holy shit.
I was in.
How the hell did we get these guys game 1? I mean, like,
Yeah.
all the that are out here, we get the one team that actually knows what they're doing. I mean, the guys in front of us couldn't hit water if they fell off a boat. And we got these guys that are hitting corners and lines.
Yep. Ooh. Oh, God.
Nice. Let's go. Yep. Too much loft.
All right, here we go. Got It's a good ball, but
Down. Good.
it's a knock.
I'll get the ball. I'll get the ball. I'll get the ball. I'll get the ball. Go.
Come on, Sammy.
Go. I swear to God. Down. Good. It's hard. Make him catch it. Get foul.
Go foul.
Good. That's fine. Hey, here we go.
Good swing, though.
Go.
Right at him. Down, though. It's a good ball, though. One foul. Ah, what do we say? Pirates.
Down. Good ball. Attaboy, Mike.
Nice hit.
Hey. Attaboy. Good swing. God damn it, Sam.
Too early. Too early. Good piece, though. Good piece. Good ball. He didn't want that. It's good.
Better pick me up.
Oh, just close. We got two. Line. It was confirmed that I got the text message, and it was, "You are terrible at trivia." I have to say that to defend myself here, because I have to defend myself. I know that doesn't really work out in other conversations. It usually makes her mad of the defending myself part, but here's the deal. All right, so last night, this is the Braden Surprenant Show. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Resetting here at the 1 o'clock hour. We're on every day from 10 to 2. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. We're going to get to some stuff from Chucky Lozano, or not Chucky Lozano, some stuff on Chucky Lozano, some stuff from Mikey Varas, as he was on with Ben and Woods earlier today on the morning show. I went to trivia last night. Trivia, not my thing. I am really good at knowing worthless information about sports. But I was told I was bad at trivia last night. I have my response to that text that I just got back after we announced today's biggest fan. It's that time again, Frank. It's time for the biggest fan.
So it is.
Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Cole Gillespie. Cole Gillespie in Encinitas. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97thefan.sd.com/biggest fan. Cole Gillespie in Encinitas. You got 10 minutes. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Cole Gillespie in Encinitas, you're today's biggest fan. Is that one of the Coles in our group, I guess? Apparently. Better call in. Don't wait as long as Travis Gundy did. Fake name, just took it from Gillespie Field. All right, so the trivia thing. I've already said, I know worthless information about sports. Okay, so here's the deal. Last night, you're terrible at trivia. I'm not the best. But then the comment after that, Frank, you ready for this? Was, I am carrying the team. Did I take offense to that?
Knowing you? No.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. What? Now, if she, in fact, was carrying the team, I would have been like, well, you're carrying the team. But you know what? She wasn't carrying the team at that point in time. I had to go back. On the sheet. And so I moved some cards. She said, what are you moving those cards for? I'm like, well, I just got to see our answers here. I was like, okay, well, that's my answer. Your answer, my answer, my answer, your answer. And I went down the list. And at the halfway mark of all of our answers, we had the exact same answers to our collective team. And she goes like, well, my back hurts from carrying this team so much. And I said, well, you know what? It's kind of the same.
Brother.
We equally suck at trivia.
Brother, let me learn you a thing or two or three here.
Friend says you're bad at trivia. My mom just texted me, you're not bad at trivia. Thanks, Mom. Let's see how this works out. I am bad at trivia for things I do not care about, just like everybody else is. I'd like to ask the people who watch Bravo shows to tell me what Mitch Moreland's walk-up song was in 2016 for the Texas Rangers. Anybody want to tell me that?
Brother, Mitch Moreland probably couldn't even tell you that.
The Outsiders, Eric Church.
There are some scenarios out there where keeping the peace is more beneficial than being right.
I kept the peace the whole time.
Here's the problem.
I had to defend myself in a little bit of.
Here's the problem, though.
What's the problem with that?
You're keeping the peace between the two of you, which is great, but you're being right in front of a couple 100,000 people.
What are you talking about? Like
which
right now?
Feels worse.
Nah. Of course, your mom sticks up for you. She is your mom. Yeah, like every mom. Well, you know what? Frank's mom usually throws him under the bus more times than not via text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, why didn't you mention they were wearing yellow pants?
She did text me that after our breakdown of the Packers-Bears game. How could you not mention they were wearing yellow pants?
Augie, my arms are tired from carrying you. I would never say something like that. That'd be frowned upon. We still had a great time. It was fun. Second half, we didn't do as well. I think she probably got most of the answers in the second half. And I was there for strictly sports because that's all I really know. And I went 1 for 2 on the sports questions. So you
didn't even do your job.
I did my job in the first half. They had us in the first half, not going to lie. But you know what? That's our first time doing trivia. You got to get back into the trivia thing. It was only us two. You usually need a group. Everybody else had groups. We had just 2. We finished in the top 20. That's not bad.
Brother,
30.
you are the pinch hitter. You are the pinch hitter that gets a hit 9 every 10 times, and the one time came up last night.
You know what, though? I got a couple of the movie ones. I was proud of myself for that. I got the ranch dressing one. That was money. Are you kidding me? This salad dressing was made in Santa Barbara.
I got the sports one. I was fat enough to get one of the food ones, and I've watched just enough television to know a movie one.
You know what else I got? I got a Stevie Wonder one. The Grammy Award.
I can't make that joke. People get mad at me if I make that joke.
I got the Stevie Wonder one because of the thing that was the big help, though, was the music hints. The music hints was great. She kicks ass in the music stuff. And the music hints were great. I couldn't tell you the song from The Late Night with Scott Van Pelt is Jenny from the Block. I had no idea what the name of that song was. But you know what? That got us the answer on what is the name of a female donkey. It's a Jenny. Did you know that? I had no idea what that was. Got it from Jenny on the Block. Thank you for the music hints. So I got the ranch one. I got the town. I got the Outsiders deal. What else? The ranch. Again, first half was 50-50. Second half was 75% her, 25% me. Definitely in that case. I don't get to defend myself on the radio. Well, you can call in if you wanted to. You can defend yourself on the radio that way.
You would allow me to let her.
No, I would not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
exactly.
not.
So that's an empty invitation there.
Yeah. because all of a sudden the Braden Surprenant show is no longer the Braden Surprenant show. It is the Bash on Braden Surprenant show is what that would turn into very quickly, because you would get fired up about it, start piling on. It would be the pile on Braden Surprenant show hour. People might think that's great. Now, she comes up with great ideas too.
I'd find that entertaining.
Yes. Now, she came up with a great idea.
Uh-oh.
We should let the chat determine what we do as a date night. Not a bad idea. Now, I told her, I'm like, you better come up with two things that you want, two things that I want that they get to vote on. But let the chat do it. We might have to put that out there every once in a while. What are you snickering about? Phrasing? Do I need
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying that's cute, adorable, and if anyone has any,
Speaking of cute and adorable, have you seen these new videos?
Something I would love to do.
Gliderport.
Yeah, I need someone to go with, bro.
Clay, I would subscribe to the Bash Braden Surprenant show. Come on, Clay. We've already done the mini golf. You can't do the mini golf multiple times. Maybe you can. I don't know. Gliderport. Speaking of cute and adorable, have you seen these new videos on these AI videos that teach you health, but it's the guy talking to you is like a cute tomato, telling him all the benefits of the tomato? Have you seen those?
No, I have not.
My sister sent 2 of those, and now it's all over my feed. I just have, hi, I'm avocado, and I clean the cholesterol off your arteries. It's just this cute little, oh, it's great. I should eat more avocado so I don't die. But, that's, they had some evil ones, too, where it's I'm a burger, and I stack fat after what you eat, for you eating me for 1 minute.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll take the burger.
Paintball. Not a good idea, Augie. Not a good idea.
Yeah, no, paintball hurts.
Bowling is not. We went through the list already. The bowling thing was not great, according to the list.
Yeah, no, and that's
But
why.
You know what? She disagreed with most of the things on the list, so maybe we're being led astray, Frank.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was very happy that I didn't know anything on the list because none of those were my ideas. So I'm pitching good ideas at least.
Rod, I'll give them a call and ask them if they like glider ports. There you go, helping it out, helping the ball club out. All right, let's get to this. Mikey Varas sound. Mikey Varas was on. Frank was ahead of the game. Mikey Varas was on with Ben and Woods earlier today to talk about a lot of different things, most notably his contract extension. We have that clip, correct? Let's talk about. Let's hear what he said about him getting a contract extension with San Diego FC.
I don't think. No, it was not. That was not on the.
What's the whole reason why they put him on, and they didn't ask him about the contract extension?
Brother, I'm not in charge of the questions. I'm not in charge of the clips that we got.
Right.
We got, what does Anders Dreyer's contract extension mean for the club? What is going on with Chucky Lozano? How does he improve in 2026? The goalkeeper situation, and how is he feeling about his team as it sits?
We'll see what he does. We'll see what he said about the Anders Dreyer extension means for the club. Maybe he talked about his extension in there as well.
Yeah, massive commitment to show that we're here to win. And how we win and who we win with matters, because Anders is a great character, top teammate, top professional. And then he obviously fits our style of play. And you can't take for granted how great of a fit he is from a style of play perspective. It's not easy to find guys who fit perfectly and are able to have big production. So from a coaching perspective, we're just so happy to have him on our team.
Mikey Varas on with Ben and Woods in the morning. Obviously, the biggest drama right now at San Diego FC is the Chucky Lozano situation. Chucky Lozano apparently is not part of the plans for San Diego FC moving forward, but he plans on showing up still. Here's all the details that Mikey Varas could tell us about the situation between San Diego FC and Chucky Lozano.
Well, as a club, and that's from ownership all the way down, we just decided it was best for Irving and best for the project that he's no longer part of our plans. And we would like to see him play in a World Cup. He has a World Cup on home soil, and there will be plenty of teams that will be willing to have him to help him get there. But ultimately, it will be up to Irving also. And what Irving does. Irving will not be part of our plans, though. And we made that very clear to him and to his representatives, and that won't change.
That's pretty stern right there. They're not even like because
out.
The report that you saw yesterday, Frank, that you sent, and that was from the Jeff Passan version, right? The Jeff Passan of soccer.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano.
And he made it sound like Chucky Lozano doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, yeah. We have a situation now where the girlfriend has broken up with boyfriend, and boyfriend is refusing to leave.
He's not leaving the house.
No, he is not.
So, what was the official report from the tweet?
So I gotta go back to the tweet. We gotta stop texting so much because this is way up the thing now.
Always planning the show, trying to help the good people of San Diego out with new content ideas.
Here it is.
Yes.
So from Fabrizio Romano, who, if you are an international soccer fan, you really have to follow this account. Hervé Lozano does not plan or want to leave San Diego in this window. His intention to stay at the club. That was the tweet put out by Fabrizio Romano. There was no article attached to it. So San Diego says he's not playing.
Right. So the timeline is San Diego FC has decided that they don't want to have Chucky Lozano as part of their team in the future. They also said he can train here until we can find him a new place.
Well,
right?
Again,
Wasn't that the situation? He's signed under contract.
Yeah, because he's still under contract. So you can't, and like I explained to you off air the other day, in soccer, you buy a new player. It's not necessarily a 1-for-1 trade. You also have to pay the player if you just decide to straight cut them. So it makes no financial sense for San Diego FC to just straight cut Chucky Lozano, lose that money on his contract, and then go out and buy another player, because you're losing twice at that point. So go out, sell him, and then try to find a player that you can use that money to bring back. So he is on the roster, and if they can't get him sold, I believe it's by the end of the month. I believe the winter transfer period is only the month of January, but the summer is July and August. If they don't sell him by the end of the month, he's on the team until July at minimum.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him after that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I don't want to leave. I'm staying here. He's like in the Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't leaving.
And then there's also the part of it where the club negotiates the sell price. Say they want to sell him for $2 million, just to throw out a random number. Then the new club has to go and negotiate the salary with Lozano. And if they can't make an agreement, then the whole deal falls apart.
Fun. Well, that's and I can't believe how open they are about all this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we don't want him part of the team anymore. But he's here. He's just kind of here. Hey, everybody wave the Chucky over there. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Just hanging out his locker. What an interesting story. That I'm sure we'll get updates on. Let's the last one I want to play is how is Mikey Varas feeling about his team today?
Yeah, I mean, we really like our squad right now because, we talk about new players who can come in, which is that's always the obvious one. But we're also excited just to see what a lot of these guys look like in year two,
Yeah.
Luca Bombino should be a different Luca Bombino in year two than he was in year one, just getting his feet underneath him. Same with like a guy like Manu or a guy like Pele, who was just with us the last couple months, or a guy like Marcus, who was hurt most of the season and now is healthy. So we really like our squad, but the reality is we will continue. As we move some guys off of the roster, we'll also continue to look for more competition depth as well.
Rod, thinking outside the box. Maybe he can play first base. People have some great... Go Aztecs has some good... Wave them. Don't feed them, though. It's great. All right. Well, San Diego State is right around the corner, getting ready for the end of the season. This is a quick turnaround in the offseason, how long the season goes, especially with how far that they played. But we'll get you updated on everything that happens with San Diego FC. They're obviously looking for a designated player now to fill for Chucky Lozano that they don't want to pay for anymore. And if he ain't going to play,
Got to go find somebody that you can have help contribute to the squad in the future. When we come back, got back to baseball for a second. Mason Miller might be changing his warm-up song and a couple other things he said on Foul Territory. We'll play some clips for you and talk Padres baseball with Mason Miller on the other side of the break on 97.3 The Fan.
Stay tuned as we head to break, go into the final segment of the show for the trivia question. And you can be the first one to call in and answer said trivia question, and you will win 2 tickets to Saturday's Aztec basketball game against New Mexico at Viejas Arena. If you want tickets to the game, you can go to goaztecs.com to get your tickets today. We'll be doing that going into break in this segment. I do want to mention that all guests on the show appear on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Okay. Mason Miller was on the foul territory, guys, as this has been like the Padres foul territory week. Craig Stammen was on earlier this week. Mason Miller was on today. Had 3 things that I thought were interesting to pass along that we're going to discuss here in a little bit. And one of them was he finally talks about the being a starter, being a bullpen piece. He doesn't rule out being a starter, but he's focused on being a bullpen arm in 2026. Here is Mason Miller on foul territory.
I know there was people talking about that, maybe you coming in and from the first inning on. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, what your feelings are, where you're at right now in your pitching, but I don't know. What do you got on that kind of thought process?
Yeah, it seems like everybody's got a lot of thoughts. I had my money on Kratz being the one to bring it up, but yeah, I don't know. It's an exciting conversation that's been had year in and year out since, I did transition to the bullpen, and I've had a lot of success, and right now to go away from that success doesn't make sense for me. In my first year into the ARB system, I'm being comped as a reliever, and a pretty good reliever at that. So I'm going to keep that ball rolling right now, and I'm never going to be the guy that rules it out down the line, but I will admit it is hard to go away from something you're having a lot of success with. And, I think my value right now is that being the lockdown guy in the 9th or late in games, whatever that we need to close a game out, and being a part of a really good bullpen, something that I take pride in too. And, down the road, maybe we'll see, but this year we're looking at the bullpen.
That's a pretty solid answer right there for Mason Miller. I mean, he's not against it, but right now he's having a lot of success. He's being evaluated on it on arbitration. And, that's a good answer by Mason Miller on the sense of like, hey, I'm willing to do it, but right now it's just we're now committed to being a bullpen arm. There's no reason to change now. And I could see where he would want to be in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something we had discussed when we were talking about him possibly moving, is he has been so good at the back end of the bullpen that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to go to the rotation. As lucrative financially as it would be for him, you run a greater chance of him getting hurt down the line, and all that money that he could have made as a starter, and he's lost it all, plus what he would have made as a reliever. So from my point, he made the right choice by staying in the bullpen.
I think so too. I think it might benefit the Padres long term if they can be a starting pitcher. It sounds like he might be interested in that, but as of right now, in terms of money, he's getting evaluated. The thing that he doesn't want to now at this point in time, it's now the point of no return. Because he's got to get the ARB number he's got to get paid as a bullpen piece and then be a starter and put all the wear and tear on his body. He has to get out of the ARB years before he can do that. He's got to get he needs to get compensated as a starter before he starts thinking about being a starter. From a money perspective, that makes a lot of sense.
Last text, we both said that he shouldn't be a starter. We said if you were going to move either him or Morejon, you'd be better off moving Morejon.
Right.
We were against him being a starter all offseason.
He would be the guy that I would move to be a starter. But what did I say? If he wants to do it, you got to let him do it. He doesn't want to do it. You don't force the guys to do it. You ask them if they feel like they can do it or not.
Yeah,
if they have the opportunity. And if Mason Miller wants to do it, then you try to make it happen, because you need to find ways to make the starting rotation happen. That's what I said during the beginning. Nobody ever remembers what we talk about. I like when he plays Nickelback coming out. The problem, I just thought the stadium didn't play it loud enough, but apparently Mason Miller might be changing his closer entrance. Wonder what he's got up his sleeve. Here's what Mason Miller had to say about his Nickelback song, Now No Longer.
You talked about ending the games. The game's over. Are you going to, or have you thought about having a different walkout song, music? Because now you're in a different city. You have, kind of starting a new chapter. Obviously, you played for the Padres last year, but if you're the closer, if you're designated the closer, I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. Do you try to change your walkout music?
Potentially. There's been conversations, and, I guess I'll put you guys in the same boat as everybody else. We'll find out when I come out of the bullpen for my first outing this year.
Is it a tough decision? Is it tough to decide between? Do you have? Have you narrowed it down to because some guys are like, oh man, I got 4 songs. I'm really loving what Meek Mill's putting out, what Drake's putting out, like what Breaking Benjamin's putting out. Can you give us a genre? And is it down to 2 songs?
It's definitely down to a few songs, but kind of encapsulating that energy coming out, and then obviously with an electric stadium and fan base, you kind of see how they respond to it. Nickelback seemed to be so last year, so I think we're going to go a different route.
It seems so in the stadium because he wasn't the closer. He was the setup guy, and they'd play it sometimes and not, and I just felt like they never played it that loud. I like the Nickelback. I think get charged up with that.
Yeah,
the song that he picked.
I just what a
they were forcing that.
What
that was
an
forced.
exchange, dude.
That was so forced. Is it this? Is it this? Is it stop? That was super forced.
Credibility of journalism in sports nowadays. Remember that conversation from earlier in the week?
It's a little forced. All right. The last one we want to talk about. Obviously, here's another benefit of having an ex-reliever as your manager, and Craig Stammen. He understands workload management in the back end. He's a guy who had to do it himself. Mason Miller was asked about, some of the advantages of having an ex-reliever and Craig Stammen as his manager.
Your manager is an ex-reliever. Do you think that that's going to be an advantage for you guys down in the pen? There's managers that really know how to use their bullpen and really take care of guys, but do you feel like that's an advantage for a team like you guys who have, on paper right now, I think it's the best bullpen starting the season, because I get it, you lost Robert Suarez, but at the end of the year last year, you were the best bullpen in the game, and I feel like you're starting out the season that way. So is that an advantage to have Craig being an ex-reliever?
Hard to imagine a way that it's not going to be. I think just the awareness that Ruben and Fritz already bring from the pitching side, and then you throw in that Stan also, spent a lot of time down there, knows the conversations we're having, knows how to read between the lines of a guy saying yeah, I'm good to go, or yeah, I feel good, but they've thrown back-to-back days or things like that. I think workload management has been the furthest thing from my worry with the Padres. They've been very good about that since the day I walked in the door. But I think just matching up those situations and talking to guys about where they find their success, and hearing it from the players, because I think that's something that's important to the way the team's heading, is, what players think, and, having those honest conversations, and not so many of those conversations where, it's kind of worried about somebody's feelings or anything like that. I don't think anybody's worried about that. You put it out there and, get your opinion heard, and, it doesn't matter about being right or wrong necessarily, but having a conversation and working to a mutual agreement, I think is going to be key.
So that's Mason Miller on Foul Territory when talking about a lot of different things that we wanted to pass along your way. Again, the bullpen thing, this is the conversation that we've had the entire time. You ask him if he wants to be a starter. Same with Morejon, trying to find assets to help be starters to save you money because you don't have the money for it. You can't just load up on the bullpen and just hope for the best and then go spend on a pitcher that you don't have the money for, which is the whole point of the conversation we've had for months about the bullpen. And here's the thing that doesn't matter, Frank. If your starters can't hold the other team to under a certain amount of runs, it doesn't matter who's in your bullpen anyway, which is the whole point of our conversation. Again, since he was a former starter and if he wanted to be a starter again, at this point in time when they asked, by the way, they asked the question right now as they're about to go to spring training. Now is not the time that you ask.
Yeah, no, it's over now.
He already signed his arbitration. He already signed the contract for arbitration, all this other stuff. This is not the same conversation as in November when he has time to gear up for the offseason. At this point, there's no reason to have the conversation because you've already had it. It's the whole point of our deal that we had before. Again, nobody listens, but anyway. Let's get to our final segment of the day. We got to get to a Aztec trivia question, though, for San Diego State. If anybody was listening earlier today, what did the Wyoming basketball coach compare his team's performance against the Aztecs to? First one to call in and tell us what that is wins the Aztec tickets today.
You don't need to give us the whole spiel.
No,
you don't need to give us the whole quote. Just
what is the general
was the
topic that the Wyoming basketball coach compared his team's performance against the Aztecs to? It was pretty funny. We played it. We talked about it in the 10 o'clock hour. If you're the first one to call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you're able to call in and tell us, you will win today's tickets. Or tickets, you will win tickets today to the Aztec game on Saturday. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Good luck. Godspeed. When we come back, we will give you the two proposals of the college football playoff that they're discussing, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the teams in action today in college basketball in San Diego to finish up the show. San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan.
I'm going yard. Juan's pitching, I'm going yard.
But this is the only one that swings it is Ethan.
Hit the pitcher as hard as I can with the ball. He's gonna wear one, dude. Send a message. It's
base hit. Keep it classy. Base hit. 5-5 hole.
I told him he was gonna.
I'm gonna try not to hurt my hamstring even more than it already is. So if I get the ball past one, it's gonna be it's a good thing.
Step back, swinging first pitch. No matter the pitch, swinging. It's going over the fence.
Oh, did he? No.
Oh, first at bat. I'm gonna go 5-5 hole, single, hard line drive, hard 90.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't. Heads up. Oh Lord! Since Juan's pitching, if he's pitching, I'm mid first pitch. Mid. Then maybe my next at bat, I might go yard off him. But. Oh, just missed it, Joel! Just missed it.
First at bat, realistically, I'm probably gonna put one through the 3-4 hole.
Last week.
First hit. Nikki 3.
I'm going yard. Juan's pitching, I'm going yard.
But this is the only one that swings it is Ethan.
Hit the pitcher as hard as I can with the ball. He's gonna wear one, dude. Send a message. It's
base hit. Keep it classy. Base hit. 5-5 hole.
I told him he was gonna.
I'm gonna try not to hurt my hamstring even more than it already is. So if I get the ball past one, it's gonna be it's a good thing.
Step back, swinging first pitch. No matter the pitch, swinging. It's going over the fence.
Oh, did he? No.
Oh, first at bat. I'm gonna go 5-5 hole, single, hard line drive, hard 90.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't. Heads up. Oh Lord! Since Juan's pitching, if he's pitching, I'm mid first pitch. Mid. Then maybe my next at bat, I might go yard off him. But. Oh, just missed it, Joel! Just missed it.
First at bat, realistically, I'm probably gonna put one through the 3-4 hole.
Last week.
First hit. Nikki 3.
I'm going yard. Juan's pitching, I'm going yard.
But this is the only one that swings it is Ethan.
Hit the pitcher as hard as I can with the ball. He's gonna wear one, dude. Send a message. It's
base hit. Keep it classy. Base hit. 5-5 hole.
I told him he was gonna.
I'm going to try not to hurt my hamstring even more than it already is. So if I get the ball past Juan, it's going to be it's a good thing.
Step back, swinging first pitch. No matter the pitch, swinging. It's going over the fence.
Oh, did he? No.
Oh, first at bat. I'm gonna go 5-5 hole, single, hard line drive, hard 90.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't. Heads up. Oh Lord! Since Juan's pitching, if he's pitching, I'm mid first pitch. Mid. Then maybe my next at bat, I might go yard off him. But. Oh, just missed it, Joel. Just missed it.
First at bat, realistically, I'm probably going to put one through the 3-4 hole.
Last week.
First hit?
Nikki, 3!
I'm going yard. Juan's pitching, I'm going yard.
But this is the only one that swings it is Ethan.
Hit the pitcher as hard as I can with the ball. He's gonna wear one, dude. Send a message. It's
Base hit. Keep it classy. Base hit. 5-5 hole.
I told him he was gonna.
I'm going to try not to hurt my hamstring even more than it already is. So if I get the ball past Juan, it's going to be it's a good thing.
Step back, swinging first pitch. No matter the pitch, swinging. It's going over the fence.
Oh, did he? No.
Oh, first at bat. I'm gonna go 5-5 hole, single, hard line drive.
Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego State Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. All right. Who won the Aztec tickets?
Eric, I believe, in Lemon Grove.
Eric.
I know it was in Lemon Grove.
All right. Sounds good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. The correct answer to our trivia question was?
Dating in 2026, unlike what Trav Gundy said, which was dating in 20,260.
Typos, man. It's going to cost you sometimes. Yes. That is what Sundance, what's his last name again?
Sundance Wicks.
Sundance Wicks.
Common spelling.
The Wyoming Cowboy basketball coach compared his team's performance to last night against the Aztecs. That was crazy. That was pretty fun to talk about. Aztecs last night, big win over Wyoming, as they have now gained a quad 1 win over Nevada because Nevada jumped up a couple of spots after losing by 9 at Utah State. On the other perspective, San Diego State made its statement in its final trip to Laramie. 7,220-foot elevation, San Diego State's final visit before leaving for the Pac-12. Sundance Wicks had that conversation. He had that in the postgame, but the other thing that he did, which is funny, was Evan won, not Eric. He just DM'd me on Instagram.
My
Come
bad.
on, man.
Sorry.
You better put the thing in right.
No, it is.
Are you
stuff
sure?
I am positive because the name was already in the system.
He
I
needs them-
tried to do that off the dome, and my dome is dented, apparently.
Apparently. Doink. Sundance Wicks had the post-game thing. He also had like a fun little joke. He handed Brian Dutcher before the game a signed oxygen canister to talk about the 7,220-foot elevation in Laramie. And it says, like, keep breathing on it or breathe, whatever it said. I forgot what it was. But he had a little joke about it, like, before the game started. Last visit for the Aztecs. And then, obviously, the joke fell flat for Wyoming because the only team that looked gassed was Wyoming. San Diego State won 74-57. They remain undefeated in Mountain West play at 6-0, 12-4 overall, tied for first with Utah State now in the standings. Wyoming with the loss drops to 2-4 in conference, 11-6. They came in 9-1 at home, averaging 90 points per game, and the Aztecs held them to 57 and gave them their second loss
of the season at home. San Diego State led 9-0 in the fast break points by halftime. They played with pace. They played with depth. They played with physicality. Not a lot of shooting luck, even though they shot 50% from the field. San Diego State led 9-0 in the fast break points by halftime. That number undersells just how dominant the pace was for San Diego State. Wyoming couldn't score, and San Diego State didn't have to inbound, and they just kept running. Wyoming shot 24.1% in the first half, 30.9% overall from the field, and they had a lot of long scoring droughts. 5 minutes without a basket in the first half, nearly 7 minutes without one basket in the second half, which goes to Brian Dutcher's calling card. Turn the game into a grind and break the opponent's will, and that's exactly what the Aztecs did. You started to see the Aztecs put together the defense that we have seen them for so many times, so many years in a row, for decades plus. We got to see vintage Aztecs defense, and that's something they're going to have to continue against New Mexico on Saturday. That's a quad 2 game on Saturday, unless New Mexico jumps a little bit into the net rankings and jumps into the top 30. They're at 42 right now. But unless that happens, it's going to be a quad 2 game, and then we'll see where New Mexico goes as the season goes on before the Aztecs have to make their final trip to the pit at the end of Mountain West Conference play. The Aztecs show their depth and their balance. They shot 50% as a team. 6 players scored between 7 and 13 points last night. 11 players scored. 10 players had rebounds. 8 players had assists. Bench points for the Aztecs dominated by San Diego State, 34-12 in the bench scoring edge. And freshman Ty Simmons, 10 points in 14 minutes, a plus 22 plus minus, an immediate energy swing. This didn't look like a team surviving on just one player. This was a team that is built like a program, and they're starting to finally put everything together. Now, the competition's been a little bit less compared to what they went through in the non-con, but they sit at 12-4. That's a great spot to be in. They continue to move up the net rankings. They jumped up 15 spots last night in the net rankings from 65 to 50. They're now top 50 in the net, which is great news for resume building as they try to make the NCAA tournament without having to win the Mountain West Conference tournament. Laramie's been a tough place to play for San Diego State. It's not been a tough place for Brian Dutcher. He's 14-1 in his career versus Wyoming, and he's 5-0 at the Arena Auditorium, a venue where the Aztecs have collapsed multiple times. They did it in 2013 and 2014. And they even wore the retired all-red uniforms. Those all-red uniforms, like the curse that the Aztec fans think they have in the all-red, they never do well in the all-red uniforms. Well, they dominate in those. The old demons have officially been exorcised. If you want to pay attention to that. The mental toughness was big for the Aztecs over the altitude. Former Wyoming player Jeremiah Oden nailed it earlier this week, but he talks about the elevation beats teams mentally, not physically. San Diego State did not flinch about the elevation. They absorbed the second half push from Wyoming. They responded immediately with scoring answers. They never let it get uncomfortable. And this mattered after nearly blowing a 24-point lead against Boise State. They have shown the growth throughout the last couple of games in the Mountain West Conference. KenPom projected San Diego State by 1. They hammered Wyoming. They had 17 to 24-point control for most of the night. Aztecs jumped up to 46 in the KenPom, jumped up to 50 in the net, as mentioned before. And this is the 5th time in 6 games they've shot 50% plus. And in the last 75 games, they're 73-2 in their last 75 games. San Diego State basketball is built to be able to be the program moving on and forward. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Let's talk real quick. It was the end of the show yesterday. I didn't really get into it too much. I want to kind of finish the show with this when it comes to the college football playoff. So we talked about it yesterday. What did we talk about yesterday? Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti have been headbutting.
Oh, yes.
Those are the two guys that are in charge of everything right now because all the other conferences were like, in order to stay part of the conversation for the last college football playoff, voted off their autonomy so they could be a part of the next college football playoff. So the Big Ten and the SEC get to call the shots.
They hear input from everybody, but the only votes that really matter are Greg Sankey's vote and Tony Petitti's vote. And the majority are in favor of a 2014 playoff right now, but one disagreement between the two have made this potentially go into a sense of they're going to be at 12 teams next year. This is a lot of negotiation going on for the college football playoff. And by the way, nobody can make any changes to their schedules in terms of conference schedules, in terms of bowl game schedules, anything until they get this deal done. They've already pushed it back. They were supposed to have this done by December 1st. They have then moved it now to January 23rd. And there's a critical meeting in 3 days in Miami, the day before the national championship game, where you're going to get all 10 FBS commissioners. You're going to get Notre Dame's athletic director, Pete Bavacqua, and you're going to get the College Football Playoff Board of Managers, which is 11 presidents and chancellors, to try to determine one of the two playoffs. Here's option one. A 16-team playoff, which is most likely to happen for 2026 if they can compromise. 5 conference champions, 11 at-large bids, guarantees spots for the Power 4 champions, includes the highest-ranked Group of 6 champion, which now includes the rebuilt Pac-12. Sankey's on board with this, and that's massive, but Petitti wants the leverage. He wants to try to force the 2014 playoff in a couple of years. That's where the real fight is currently happening. Nobody has too many qualms about the 16-team playoff. Now, I have qualms with the 16-team playoff because as I see 5 conference champions and 11 at-large bids, I see 5 conference champions and then 11 at-large bids for the SEC and the Big Ten. No dice. I'm out on that. Super out on that. I like this next proposal, which is even better. 2014 playoff. This is what the Big Ten wants. Future commitment to move from 16 to 24 teams within 2 to 3 years. The SEC doesn't like it because there's too many automatic qualifiers that limits their access to the playoff that they know they can't earn outright. Under the proposal, they have in the Big Ten 4 SEC schools, 4 Big Ten schools, 4 ACC schools, 4 Big 12 schools. That is 16 of the 24 in automatic qualifiers. Sounds good. And then on top of that, 2 Group of 5 or Group of 6 conference winners. I think it's more than fair. I'd prefer to have every conference represented just because it's the easy fix. But you know what? Greed is going to prevent these guys from making even more money than they probably can. So that gives you to 18 schools, which leaves you 6 at large. I mean, when you start breaking it down, Frank, from that perspective, I don't know why the SEC is so upset about this. They're still going to get probably 7 schools in every single year, maybe even 8.
Because they're not getting their way. That's why.
Right, exactly.
But
the reality is
their way.
Everybody's going to have an opportunity. You get 4 of each. We should have 11 teams in there. No, you shouldn't. You barely deserve to have 2 teams in the college football playoff this year. By the way, who's playing for the national championship again? 3 years in a row? Is the SEC representing the national championship again?
Nope.
No, it's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time. And when they have to play on the field, they get exposed. Since 2024 contract negotiations, Big Ten and SEC effectively control college football playoff format decisions. Other commissioners signed off on this power structure. Stupid. College Football Board of Managers no longer has final approval authority. They got to wait for these 2 guys to dish it out. So there's going to be a ripple effect. Currently, there's 41 bowl games, 70 non-college football playoff teams played bowls. Bowl executives insist that non-college football playoff bowl TV viewership is up 25% over 2 years. Fans still want December football, but the reality is the bigger the playoff, the fewer marquee teams left for bowls. If the college football playoff expands past 12, more on-campus playoff games, bowls still involved, but with reduced influence. That's another topic for another day. I give you the 2 proposals, Frank. I like the Big Ten one with automatic qualifiers. Yes. Let the committee pick 6 teams. Go ahead. Let him pick 6. But I think it needs to be 24 teams, and it needs to be as many automatic qualifiers as possible. I've been arguing for this since 2013 when they were deciding to go to a playoff. They're slowly getting their way to what needed to happen. But greed continues to get in the way. How do you think this is going to play out? I don't think we're gonna have resolve at the end of the at the day on January 18th. But we'll wait. No. I mean, this happens on Sunday. We'll be able to talk about it Tuesday after the national championship on Monday. I It might be time to reach out to Tim Pernetti again. See what he's got to say about this. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This has been the Braden Surprenant Show. Gwen and Chris coming up next. San Diego State Sports Station 97 The Fan.